Hello, everybody. This is Grimcad. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. We are going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition, The Tomb of Annihilation, as we typically do on these Fridays. Didn't have a session last time. The stars were against us. But, things happen. But we're going to go ahead and try it again. My name is Grimcad. It's not my name. I mean, my parents don't hate me, but it's what I go by. I am a player in this campaign. I go by Riyadh, and I am a druid. Let's move on down the list. Let's move over to Greg this time.
Hey, I'm Greg, and I play the character Jake within this playthrough.
Yeah. Roland?
Roland, the terrible spy.
Damn straight.
You're gonna kill it, though. You gotta.
Yeah.
Still not very great at fishing either.
You caught something, though.
That's
better than you've ever done. And last but certainly not least, our DM for this campaign, Gypsy.
Yo.
And I'm going to hand it over to him for any recaps we may be having.
Yes. Well, last session, which was a couple of weeks ago now, we finished the journey of bringing the statue back to the Goblin Village. Been a long, quite eventful journey. I think we left off literally walking back into the camp. I don't know if we need much of an actual recap of events, but we fought some dinosaurs almost fought some dinosaurs, and instead watched a T-Rex fight some dinosaurs and thoroughly destroy them.
As an aside, too, just because I thought it was so funny, right before we started the session, Gypsy asked us, so now that we lugged this guardian statue by hand all the way, do we feel that was an effective use of our time? And we all emphatically said yes. How else would have done it?
You could have just bought back a token from the area. I don't know. There would have been easier ways. I think
I did actually say we should just bring something back, but then we were like, no, let's just bring it.
But bringing an entire statue back to the goblins would have been like, yeah, that's right.
Hey, we're no quitters.
We will address that. I mean, I guess now. But yes, as you are walking back into camp, first thing you notice is that, I mean, you only would really be able to notice it because you had seen it in its early stages, but the construction that makes up the almost slingshot effect of the village is almost completely camouflaged. Even knowing that something's there, you can't make out that it's there. It just looks like the village is built next to or under a big tree. And also should actually hide them up here. The goblins who were tending the ants last you saw aren't working at the moment. You can't see anyone mulling or tending to any of the ant colonies. But beyond that, it seems very much as how you left the village, business as usual for them. Is anyone?
Well, I think we should just, we've got, the big smart with us. We should just wade into the center and plop it down.
Yeah, it was more of a question of how you, guess, delivering the statue and everything. Just dragging it in and dumping it in the middle of the village. Keeping in mind, if they could have moved it themselves, they quite probably or possibly would have. So,
I was thinking of possibly asking Big Smart to go ask Queen where she would like it.
Yeah, and at this point, when you put it like that, I suppose we would handle it with a little bit more respect and due diligence rather than, dragging and plopping.
like you've been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
Just drag it
I
out.
reckon you just leave it on, just leave it there for now and go get the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Get Big Smart to go get the queen.
Instead of just dragging it up, here's your shit.
And then popping it on the ground, she's like, I don't want it there anymore. It goes to the left a little bit.
To the left. Little more. Right, I put it back where you found it. But no, Big Smart would go off and get the queen, who comes out with a pair of. Oh, no, that's just one of them. Seems. Isn't it? Can you see two goblins there, or?
Sorry.
We see
Plus the
the
queen.
Big Smart, I guess the queen, and then two flanking her.
Alright, sweet. For some reason the other one's a bit more opaque. But they walk up and Queen steps forward and, you bought the entire thing. How? Why? How?
It wasn't that heavy. It just we couldn't decide what you wanted, so we thought everything.
Oh, I certainly didn't expect God self. What? She seems very, very confused as to that. It seems almost like impossible that you've brought it with you to her in such, not necessarily a fashion, but the fact that it was at all possible. Or what happened? Scout not really say much. He very, very quiet about it. He seemed Big Smart steps forward. He did not good. He attacked the owls, and we have big fight with them. We got them all. We did good, but it may not be good. Okay.
Look, I'm not I'm not the most familiar with your religion, but I mean, to me it seems that God favored us in the battle, and God decided that he wanted to come with us here.
At this point, Queen and Big Smart kind of share a glance, and she sends her two followers off to do whatever they do. So you're left with them, and she says, Okay. Tell me everything that happened.
Well, we arrived there, where the idol was, and then eventually, while we were sort of pondering what to do, thinking about what to do, and how to get the thing over, there was another tribe of goblins that came. Some sort of owl, was it? I can't remember their name exactly.
The screaming owls, you know them, Queen. We always fight them. And she kind of nods like she knows who you guys are talking about.
Well, I'm guessing they recognized us as outsiders, so they attacked. We defended ourselves, and then at that point, fearing that there would be more, we grabbed it and we ran. They pursued us later on over the course of days, and they attacked us, and they managed to kill one of our own, I'm afraid. But
looks a little bit almost crestfallen about that, or sorry for you guys.
We managed to again sort of defend ourselves. Then we came, well, we found our way back here. We dodged one of the Tyrannosauruses, I suppose. Really not long ago. I'm sure your scouts would have seen or heard of it in the area.
They come and go all the time. I mean, there's plenty of them around.
Oh, plenty?
I mean, you don't. They travel alone, but it's all kinds of lizards are everywhere at all times. I mean, it's not something we count, but that we see them often enough. But it's just a matter of working around them, staying out of their way.
Right. But you seem rather surprised to see us with all of God.
Well, we have not seen them moved ever. We have tried. Other tribes have tried as well. Everyone's tried to claim it before, but no one's actually moved him.
I see. There aren't any histories anywhere? Any stories of him moving? Once upon a time or anything?
Not as far as I know, or anyone else that the tribe knows.
I see, because, well, we know sort of a thing or two about a thing or two, and your god's somewhat special, even more so than just an effigy. It's can sort of be, we think, and maybe not quite as easy as I'm saying, but we think it can be sort of be brought to life and commanded. Are you familiar with the word golem?
No. What's golem?
Well, they are sort of non-living things, sometimes rocks or wood or other things that are sort of enchanted to move and follow their creator's orders.
Oh, so someone make God.
Yeah, so Jake would butt in because he's got a love for golems, and he would say it's like a construct, a living something brought to life by magic.
Oh, we don't know magic very well. We strong tribe. We not over smart tribe.
We sort of have.
You cut out there.
We have a theory that there might be an object somewhere that will give the wielder control over God.
This might be some sort of amulet or a rod or something, probably passed down for quite some time, honestly.
From what I hear, a lot of people like doing rings because they're easier to conceal.
Can we make amulet?
Possibly.
It's possible, but I wouldn't know where to start, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Knowing golems, they tend to have an item already made for them to activate them, like a control rod or some sort.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, we don't have. I mean, I have jewelries and pretties and stuff, and some of the other tribeswomen do too, but nothing special. Nothing that's big smart or anything like that. Nothing glowy or anything.
Anything in your religion that may come close to something like that, like a golem, or
I mean, feel free to look if you want, but
Yeah, well,
things get lost over time, especially with big launch.
given some time, I can cast a spell that could see if any items you had were magical in nature, but it wouldn't necessarily be as simple as that. But that also might be something a bit more down the line. I was at least worried that our taking this and bringing it here might have some side effects. The other tribe was, well, awfully keen to stop us, and while I don't know if they know exactly where we were headed, it's very probable that they would figure it out that we were bringing it here.
Whoa. Do they know that it's our tribe that take? Did they see Big Smart or Skull?
Yes.
Well, then they know that we have it, more than likely. They are probably just as confused as to how as me, but they must know by now. I mean, you said they followed you and attacked again.
Yes.
Well, for now, my tribe, we are more than thankful we are in your debt. I mean, especially if you say we can summon or call to God and have him actually help us. I mean, if we can make that happen, then we would not have to fear again. But as you said, that is for later. We have more pressing matters. You must be tired, and you said that one of yours fell. Rest and stay as long as you need to. We will talk again later.
All right.
And she kind of walks back, so almost dazed she seems, until she disappears into her tent.
Well, that went differently than I expected, I suppose. I guess that was quite a lot of information to give to her all at once. They are seeing their god in the flesh, as it were.
Big Queen also smart, but she's not smart. She's more smart entitled. She probably does not know how to take the information, and honestly, we are probably going to have troubles with the owls at least.
Yeah.
But for now, enjoy, and I've got to go see mine.
So we leave the statue here?
I assume, I mean, it looks difficult to
move around. I've seen how you guys have to carry it. You can probably leave it there. Be safe.
Alright.
Yeah, we can put it wherever it looks best.
Oh, yeah, we will chuck it there then. That looks fine. And I will also apologize for the voices. I completely screwed them up and changed them halfway through sentences.
Hey, no worries. I know
It's
exactly
hard.
how
It's
it
hard.
goes.
It's hard switching
I
between.
didn't even notice.
It's hard switching between two different voices that you're trying to do similar but have an obvious difference between.
Yeah.
But Big Smart goes off and disappears into the crowds to do whatever he wishes to do.
Are we just resting at the moment?
Yeah, take this as you guys can basically have downtime, long rest for as long as you guys want. As long as you're in general, pulling your weight, quote unquote, around the village, you'll be treated cordially. If you help with hunting and stuff, you can eat with them and take
Good.
time so everyone can mark as a long rest at the very least, and we'll just pick up when someone wants to do something.
So
Could I ask someone to?
Well,
Can you ask someone to?
Slap a guidance on me really quick?
You want to fish with guidance?
Yeah.
I'll slip a guidance onto that one. Oops.
you have a macro for guidance now with it.
It's the global skill modifier.
Yeah. Well, that's you would probably, if you were, say, fishing to help put into communal meals and stuff like that, you'd more than be able to cover essentially the party with roles like that. I mean, the water, sometimes you have to go a couple 100 yards out of the village or something like that to get to where the water hasn't been splashed around in by the goblin children or constantly fished and everything like that, scaring all the fish away and everything like that. But you'd be able to catch some fish.
Yeah, because like, if I can contribute, that's how I want to contribute, because I'm still learning how to fish.
And as for me, at some point, if we're getting some time to rest, I would like to try to change out some of my spells for detect magic and just sort of over the village, over, things that on the off chance might be some sort of controlling item, and more or less just things in general,
You wouldn't find anything at all, really. These seem to be very primitive. Even objects that seem held in high esteem or with high regard and stuff like that are still non-magical. It seems to be more sentiment value or something like that.
Okay. Worth a shot.
So I'd help out with the hunting aspect. Did they hunt for their food here?
Yeah, they do all forms. They do everything from foraging for berries and roots and everything like that.
Do you want a survival check? Would that come under survival?
If you want to, I mean, it's more of a factor of if you're going to spend a whole day doing it or something like that, you will catch something sooner or later. Especially if you're working with their hunters who have, already been here a couple of weeks, have already laid the trap lines and everything.
No, yeah, I'd help out.
If you want to go for something special to try get a high roll so you can bring back something special.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
Yep, that's fine.
5.
You'd be able to pitch in with efforts, but not make a particular effort. Like you're not bringing back half a T-Rex corpse or something like that. But yeah, I guess the next main question would be more of a OC party question of what did we want to do next.
I mean, like the other thing Go ahead.
I know there was talk of resurrecting Theodore, and we can throw a plot hook for that, or we can explore this goblin conflict more now, or thumbtack that for later.
Sure.
What did people want to see in the short term?
See, I would have definitely suggested in character, to Jake that he should ask about that. It was thrown up before by Big Smart, and I'm sure it would happen at some point where, hey, so, we're resurrecting people.
Yeah.
Maybe with a bit more tact than that, but...
Yeah. The character here I was going to ask around anyway for it. Also going to question them about the death curse as well. See if they had anything to do with resurrecting in these parts of the...
The goblins honestly don't know anything about any kind of death curse that's hitting the planet. They focus on basically their own day-to-day and what affects their life. They don't have, or this tribe in particular especially, doesn't have any form of spellcasters or high-level priests or anything like that who use resurrection, so they've never dealt with it in any shape or form.
Because River and Mist were saying something about a shaman nearby, or and deep into the mountains or something about.
Big Smart was talking about something, yes.
Yes.
You can talk to him and Queen about if you want at some point. If that's where we're wanting to be heading next.
I'm thinking so. I mean, that's probably the most pressing thing that there is at the moment.
Yep.
Well, then it's a question of, would you want the party around while you're talking to them about it, or would you do it by yourself?
Hold on a minute.
I honestly don't mind what we do. I just... Yeah.
So, also, it's Han. Anyway, so what was that about? Was that question aimed at me? If I was going to do it alone?
Yeah, would you?
Oh, no, I'll do it with the party.
Yes. Anyone else who wants to
If anyone wants to come in with
talk at some point, Jake would find, I assume, either Big Smart or Queen and get them together. And everyone would gather and she'd say, so, what plans now?
She could stand up as a Big Smarts was kind of telling me about a shaman that could resurrect or bring back to life someone.
She casts almost not an angry glare at Big Smart, but it's definitely a why did you or why would you tell them about that? And she says, "Ooh, yes, there's tell of a human woman. She lives on the mountains on the plateau. It's said she can call life back to the dead, but I do not believe that much myself."
You don't believe that she does it, or you don't believe it's possible?
I don't believe it's all that it's promised to be. I don't trust things that come from things that are dead should be dead.
What do you mean by?
Are you saying?
I was just going to say, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I mean, my personal belief that things that die should stay dead. I mean, is the Riad actually saying that?
No, that's why I typed it.
Yeah, but yeah, essentially that's what she's saying. Like, sometimes being able to stay asleep is better than waking up again, and not to make her sound morbid.
But yeah, that's their belief.
But I mean, if you believe and if you wish it to do it, she does exist. But if her power exists or not, I do not know.
So he looks at Theodore. He looks back at the Queen. So, if any chance, I'll take it.
Well, I don't know her name. I know that you go to the mountains back across the river. You may have seen the plateaus as you were traveling. And she lives at the very top of them, on the flats. And she lives in the ruins of an old city. And we don't know, I don't know much myself more about any of it, but maybe you'll find what you need there.
Thank you for your information.
Thank you for God. I mean, I still do not know what it means for village in future, but I mean, we shall see.
We shall see.
How far away is this person?
Depends how travel. I mean, my guess would be 2 week, maybe 3, maybe more, maybe less.
So I do think that we have pretty much decided to follow up on this, but what will you all do in the meantime?
We do what always do. We
meant
live.
More about you now being
A target.
the owners of the god of the area. It is likely that there will be others coming. It's possible, anyways.
We strong tribe. We know war if we need to. I mean, though you may not see a lot of us all the time, we are there. We have a out and about as well. We strong. We can fight if we need.
So the gods that you believe in, do the other tribes believe in the same gods?
Oh, it's yes and no. Like, same gods, different names sometimes different beliefs, or we think that they should have these offerings, others think they should have other offerings.
Would you be willing to share the statue with other tribes?
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Some believe that they are the gods themselves. Some believe they are, how you say, and she almost looks like she's almost getting upset at the fact she can't think of the word.
Representations or avatars?
Yes. Like those are they mean the god.
Right. Well.
Well, thank you for your time anyway. Yes. So I'm going to take my leave now. Good chatting with you.
Good hustle, team.
I think.
It turns back to the team and asks us, where to from here now. I'd express my interest about chasing up on this lead.
Is this after you guys have?
After we finished talking to her.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have anything else they wish to say to?
Well, I mean, I would have asked if she could spot us someone who like knows where this person is. Like, is there somebody like that, or at least let's spend some time. Let's get the directions firmly ingrained with our guides at the very least.
I've never seen. I've never allowed tribe on mountains. We don't do well on mountains. We don't know exactly where she is. Big Smart. He knows how to get to mountains, but he not know where she is. I mean, it is his choice, and we may need him, honestly, but if he wishes to go with you, he take you. We go.
Would be good to have someone who knew the land around here a little bit better with us.
I'd nod, and if Big Smart is present, I would turn to him. I mean, well, we would ask you to show us, but I do understand that this is an important time for you to be with your tribe. You are Big Smart after all.
Give me a persuasion.
Well.
Who's got the better persuasion?
Grim. He's the one actually asking, so he can do it.
Not me, by the way.
Yeah, 15, so pretty good. Big Smart kind of thinks about it. He says, I take you to mountains, but I not come up with you. I need it here, and like Queen say, we not do very good on mountain.
Understood.
Don't you think it might be nice to see all of the land of the Chalk from up on the mountaintop?
Honestly, no, because then all of the land of the chalk come very fast at you when you slip.
So that was out of character. Yeah.
Oh, these are steep mountains then.
Yes.
And he points off into the horizon, and often far into the distance you can see large mountainscapes, the ones that you've been almost almost make up a kind of a valley, but it doesn't have the other side of the valley on the other side. Yeah, they're big mountains. I just asked. We leave in tomorrow in morning, preferably. I want time with who come from me.
Yes, your children. I have no problem giving you a few days. Maybe we could cobble together some climbing gear, or some more climbing gear for us. It sounds like we're gonna need it.
Maybe idea, but we no help there, and you far from big town.
Yeah, I understand.
But with that, he kind of gives a bow more aimed at the Queen and leaves. And if everyone else is done, because at this point the Queen's kind of like, why is this discussion being had in my tent?
Like, the only other thing that I would really, like, even pursue or ask is for... would it be possible for us... I'd like to think we're quite friendly with your tribe now. Do you think we could get a set of your masks?
A set of masks? What mean? You want
Can,
want
can,
faces?
can we be part of your tribe?
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far.
I'd be like,
I mean, masks. They're not something we have lying around. They're not something we use to trade or anything. When goblin old enough to have job, have role in village, they make their own mask, and they work through life. It all shows your life through the mask.
I see.
I mean, you can carve mask.
All right.
I mean, well, we're just still staying around and waiting to let off. Would you happen to have any goblin spare that could give me some tips on fishing?
You spending a lot of time with fishes already. I mean, if you're not learning already, you're gonna learn.
I mean, just tips from the professional always help, is what I say.
Everything in the village seems to be more of a they do it because it's what they do thing. No one seems to be in particular, the specialty fishers or anything like that. It's more the hunters are hunters because they're good with spears and they like hunting. The fishers like being in amongst water and catching fish and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's not trained or refined arts or anything like that. Like, honestly, you're probably doing more in terms of actual fishing than them a lot of the time. A lot of their fishing seems to be, hey, I was stabbing the water and caught a fish, or I've had a string tied to my foot with a hook on it that I've just waited for a fish to catch onto. It's not actually looking for where fish are and trying to cast to them and stuff like that, like I imagine you would be doing.
I
Yeah.
suggest to Roland that he could probably build a net. He may have some better luck. But either way is to, grub stank? I think that would pretty much be it. For me, anyways.
Oh, she doesn't seem to expect any kind of undue formality from you guys. It's just she's still like, she's not impatient or expecting you to get out. It was more of a, people are still here. Wouldn't people prefer to be doing things?
Gotcha.
Which again is just more of a cultural thing, because goblins tend to do what goblins do, whatever it might be that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do much sitting around talking and everything like that. That's left to the big smart ones. But once people have gone out and everything, did we want to go the next day, wait a couple of days? You can just round it out either way. It's just keeping a general timeline.
Yeah, we're just waiting up on, what was it, Big Smarts, was it, to sort out some family?
Yeah, I'm
No, he
okay
just-
giving
He,
him
he, he was, yeah, he was literally just asking, like, I've been away from the tribe for a week or two now, and I'm heading back out for another 2 to 4 weeks. Like, I
Yeah.
just want some time with my young.
Yeah. So saying, yes, I would just go by his time, really. So what you said about 2 to 3 days.
Well, if you guys don't,
being generous, because he is kind of leading us.
yeah, and if you guys
Almost,
don't, press, he would only give it a day or two, and he'd come in and be like, "Ooh, are we ready? I was waiting for you to find me. Shall we go?"
I think so, yes.
I mean, I just want to say that, like, in my spare time, I would have been trying to fish.
Yes, I know. It's okay.
Hey,
Just want to
are
make
you
sure.
asking for a level up on your fishing there, Fraser?
No, I'm just not sure if it goes without saying. It's
It
just
does.
I want to make sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, while we did have like a couple of days there, I would like to try to do something with the bright flowers or whatever, some sort of poison or something out of them, if it's more or less immediately obvious and something that I could do.
If you
Don't exactly have a
wanting
poison
to-
kit, but I do have herbalism kit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. With a herbalism kit, and I assume you'd have proficiency with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and given a couple of days, if you give me, are you going to be using all of the flowers, quote unquote?
Yeah, I'd try to.
Yeah. Because you don't have, give me a survival check first.
Okay.
Or can you actually roll for skills?
Yeah, I can
for herb-
roll like using my herbalism kit, I believe.
Oh yeah, we'll do that then. Yeah,
Okay.
do that then. I wasn't sure if you could actually do that.
Yeah.
12. Yeah, so you'd get probably 2 doses of an application poison that would do probably a d6 each.
Quick guidance it.
Yeah, I could guidance it. I mean, like, that's...
Well, guidance for fishing.
No, it's trying to make poisons.
Like,
Oh.
I would
It
think,
would-
like...
It would be about the same, I would imagine.
Yeah, and me personally, I would concentrate on what I'm doing, not the spell that lets me do it better, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That does actually make sense.
But no, it was basically, do you waste it? Do you do something okay? Or do you somehow make something? Like if you got in a critical roll or something.
Sort of roll, yeah.
It would have been the good poison that I was thinking of.
Right.
But no, you get 2 doses of 1d6.
Okay. Honestly, I wouldn't have a ton of use for it. I mean, I do bludgeoning damage, for God's sakes. So, I would give it to Roland. Roland, you can probably make a better use of this than I could.
I'm pretty sure I could work something out to do with that.
Oh yeah, because it's so hard wiping some poison on a blade.
I was thinking about like an arrow, but yeah, blade would work.
Arrows work too, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
What type of poison is it?
It's just, a poison. It's 1d6 damage, 2 doses.
The product poison. No.
You can apply it or you can put it in food or something. Although in food it would not that I suggest tasting it, but Riod would probably be pretty confident in telling you that it would be pretty distinct flavor
Safe to taste.
in a food. So it's definitely a apply to weapons poison.
Very good.
Yes.
Why,
But
thank you.
everyone is
Thank you very much.
Everyone is on our map.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Indeed.
Nice. Right. Well, give us a... Wait, we want... No, someone else had survival rolls. Someone else can do this. I think it was Jake.
I got survival. Yep.
Yeah. I assume whilst we're traveling and everything...
Give me a roll. A survival. You say?
Yes.
Yes.
What,
I
did we?
assume that Grim, you would be every 7 days recasting Gentle Repose.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would probably be redoing it at least every 6 too. I mean, you never know.
Just whenever it would
Yeah.
need to be. Yeah.
When we went to go get that statue, we came back a different way than what we went at.
Yes.
Yes.
I think if we're heading out towards the mountains, we should go the way we first went, rather than the trail way.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even know what direction we're going with. I mean, like, are we going to these little mountains? Are we going to the big Chungus mountains? Or are there gigantic mountains we don't even know about down to the south?
I don't know. We're following. Aren't we being guided by Big Smarts?
Okay,
You
well,
know,
I see it. Yeah.
he knows a better way of.
Oh,
He
God,
knows
the
the way
camp is
better than
moving.
any of us. I was like, I was gonna say, that wasn't my eyes, was it? But
No, that was me. Apparently, I can move this shit around for some reason.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's all these big names for some reason. Ignore the fact that Mabala is down here as well, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. No worries.
That's where we're heading. I'm just reshuffling the map. There we go. That'll do. So yes, whenever the map would be pulled out, Big Smart would point to the general area of the mountain range of Mabala, which you don't know the name of, obviously, but he's fairly confident you'd be able to mark an area around this area somewhere where they would be.
Since like we're sort of looking out the map, I would ask him what this sort of Camp Righteous is, like who is here, type things. Like, if they would know. I mean, it's fairly close to where the goblins themselves are set up. So,
Honestly, I've been with you guys for the past couple of weeks, and we only landed maybe a week before you walk in our land.
Fair enough.
I mean, the land of this area, like, I will like instantly delete this, but wait, not yet. That is too big. He says that his knowledge of area is roughly that. The areas in that area of the map is what he roughly knows, but the Camp Righteous he doesn't know anything about. Neither does he the Camp Vengeance. Doesn't know about any human settlements or anything like that might be in the area.
so, do we want to go check out that Camp Righteous? I mean, it's not too far, and we could.
Well, the only thing that I'm worried about is that if we're heading to these mountains, we only have one proper set of climbing gear. We have some odds and ends for other things, but so I think we could make it work, but we might also get there, look at it, and realize, no, this is definitely not going to work. But there's also definitely not any guarantee that there would be, climbing gear there. I mean, now that I think about it, it's pretty far from the mountains. I would bet there's a less likely chance of it being there than there is for it not to be there, climbing gear that is.
Could there be a path that goes around, leading up to where this?
Anything's possible.
I mean, like, it could be a path anywhere around there.
Yeah.
We could possibly have to use the climbing to heat it up.
I guess.
Just crossing the river first, yeah.
I guess you're right. Yeah. That's a bridge we should destroy when we get to it.
We already did that though.
It's another one.
But that being said, why is that not working? Yeah, there we go. You spend the day traveling. At some point, you set up camp and give me perception checks.
So
How many?
also, while we're sort of in this area in between where, we stole their god from, I would like to go ahead and,
My bad.
when I think necessary, burn paths without traces, off and on, try to at least make our paths not look quite so obvious.
That's fine.
Ignore the
Like
plus
how
3.
often?
Like, I don't think I would use both castings on it. I would just use one.
One a day.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
an
that's
hour a day.
That's fine, and that also allows you to move a lot more without worry. Because again, it's not even just necessarily warring goblin tribes or anything, but other creatures might follow you and such.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll get it right, the timing. Sometimes I won't get the timing right, and I perfectly accept that.
Yeah.
Ignore the plus 3 on the perception check. Is that watches the perception?
Yes.
Well, I'm falling asleep again.
Someone else?
Sorry, yes.
Just give me one each actually, because
Okay.
we can say an NPC goes with each of you, and we'll just take them with advantage. Yeah, and Greg, you want? Oh, you did yours.
Yeah, I did it. So I'm falling asleep again.
On my watch, I'm going to be hiding in the trees.
The night passes quietly enough. It starts getting really hot and muggy earlier than it has the past week or so. Most of the time, it's still quite cool even until mid-morning sometime. But today, it feels like it's going to be a really hot day. Even by daybreak, by the time the sun's coming up, your clothes are sticking to your back from the humidity and sweat, and it's thick and cloying. It makes it hard to breathe almost. But with that, give us another
Sorry, I could just talk. I was trying to be unobtrusive because it wasn't super important. As like sort of downtime activity, in between, shifts and whatnot, I would like to sort of start working on an ant mask from the goblins, or
That's fine. Yep.
Yeah, modified after them.
That's fine. Is it something you'd like? You're actually trying to make well, and like you'd spend some time studying.
Yeah, I would spend time. I mean, I'm no good at it. I'm not proficient in it or anything, but I'd spend some time.
I mean, a mask isn't hard to carve either. But yep, that's fine. Someone give me a survival check again.
Yep. Have a mate.
And then I'll do this. Give me 1 second.
Did we get lost?
Oh, you guys got lost yesterday.
You rolled an 11 for it, bro.
As you're traveling today, as you're walking through the forest, you hear what almost sounds like a familiar ticking, clicking noise. And
how familiar?
You notice it as, funnily enough, you had to put up with it for a good 3-4 hours one night, almost a week ago maybe in game, and sure enough, your suspicions are confirmed when, after maybe half an hour after the noise starts up, you start seeing small black and white shapes flitting from branch to branch.
Oh, not these again.
Isn't it terrible?
Make sure to watch your things this time.
Yeah, keep hold of your things.
And yes,
I'm gonna definitely like keep the map on my person like very close.
by the end of the hour, you're almost completely surrounded once more by the Tringwas. And they're doing the same as they were before. Because you guys are traveling this time, they're not so exploratory of you and your possessions. They're more what you're doing as you're traveling through the forest and everything like that. They're watching you from the trees. Only one or two of the bravest ones will occasionally flit across your shoulder and take a short ride for a few steps before jumping and tumbling to the ground. Does anyone do anything with them if they're not being untoward towards you?
I
Just
draw my
make-
sword and cut their heads off now.
Just making sure I don't lose the map.
Murder hobo the imps. But you spend probably a good 5 hours being followed in the company of them. Whether it's actually being followed by them or this is just a particularly rich area of the forest with them and they're all around you as you're traveling. But they're traveling with you for most of the day. But as it gets to evening, almost just before mid-afternoon sometime, they start receding and disappearing back into the trees and leaves and the roots of the ground, leaving you once more to as normal as Cholt has sounded so far, a more normal sounding jungle.
I'd like to give a once over of our stuff and our inventory and see if things match up.
Nothing's missing this time that you can realize.
I'd like to take a once over on our own gear that we've got on us at the moment.
Everyone would have, had their hands on their backpacks to make sure that the latches were closed as they were traveling and stuff like that. So they weren't given much of a chance to make things disappear. But with
Did they leave something behind this time, or did they not because they didn't take anything?
they might have left something on the trail behind you, but do you stop at any point and spend time with them, or were you traveling for the entire day?
I would have voted we travel, but
yeah, that's what I was picturing. It was more of a you're traveling in their background to the travel as opposed to an actual encounter you need to deal with.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
And with that, we will take the 3 perception rolls again.
okay.
Because I gotta hide as well.
Sorry.
And then we will take our regularly scheduled hour coffee refill while I quickly get this next thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I was about to say that, and we
Random
the
encounter.
bathroom break would be nice.
Yeah.
And I'll go need to.
I don't know if you guys heard my ice clanking, but my drink is gone.
Yeah.
So I'll be
I've
back.
got to release 2 liters of liquid. And
Who's back? No one.
I'm back, but I'm downstairs having a smoke.
Nah, all good.
Probably not a great idea.
I finished my smoke and I'm back upstairs.
So,
Right, I live once again. So not to like start a tangent and all that, but while I was taking a brief break, I see that Sony has pulled whatchamacallit off the, their digital store right now and are issuing refunds for it.
What is it? They
Re-
want the
re-
PS5s.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Off the PlayStation, off the PlayStation Store entirely, and everyone that bought it gets a refund.
Why is it?
Well, they
Because of its state.
yeah. They don't want to support something that isn't fucking playable in its current state. They don't think it should have been released.
That they actually lost $1 billion with that whole thing there.
Oh, yeah.
Their stocks are down like 20%. It says on Friday,
Which
just
Wow.
which I mean isn't all that harsh, because you've been developing a game for 7 years and you can't even polish it off for the consoles that were there when you were planning the game.
Doesn't matter the PC on release date, but it's not all their fault. They were pressured into releasing it, and the production companies wanted to release it because cunts were being dicks about it. But I mean,
But then again, it's their product, though. At the end of the day, I mean,
Yeah.
they should know when and when not to release it, and know when it's not finished, and argue to the point where if they say they're going to release it, it's going to be shit. You know, at least they put it. I don't know if they put an argument up or not or anything, but
if you get rushed, you end up with things.
Yeah, you end up with a shit product.
And it's also, I mean, sure, they had to have known what they had and what they were releasing, but at the same time, like, people were getting really angry that the game wasn't releasing either. I mean, there was a point we reached, I think, where people were going to be unhappy either way, just because it had taken so long. You know, like with the finished project, I don't think anybody was going to be happy.
All the way this year.
You know, now granted, that's hard to say because there are apparently, I don't have it, you know, there are apparently some rather glaring bugs and issues with it. But...
Oh yeah, but at the same time, a lot of them are being addressed and being fixed very quickly.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't know anything really about what goes into development on a high-profile project like that. It can't be easy, but...
I've only got like 1 or 2 worth.
Did you say you've worked on 1 or 2?
No, sorry, Greg came in and asked me a question.
Oh. Fair enough.
But if we are ready, during the night, during Greg's watch, because he rolled second, and it's actually really lucky that it was during his watch as well, because he actually perceived it, unlike Roland. But Greg, you notice at one point during the night
that I haven't fallen asleep yet.
yeah, and it's actually somewhat lucky, possibly, that you haven't fallen asleep, because you see off in the distance a group of 3 people, and you can probably see their names, so the prize is probably...
We actually can't see their names.
I can
that's
see
good.
them.
We see them.
Yes. And, I mean, they're making an attempt of being discreet, but they're not full-on stealthing either, currently.
Right. I want to be noticed kind of thing, or...
Not necessarily. No, it's not that they want to be noticed. They're definitely trying to be discreet and stay out of sight and stuff like that, and keep their distance more than anything. I'll actually put them back a bit more. And it's only glances between the trees you're seeing of them, but you can see 3 figures back there. You're not sure. They're not reacting to you. You don't know if they've seen you in your camp, or whether they've seen you and actively avoiding you or what, but they are there.
Alright. Would kind of wake... Yeah, I'd wake up Roland. Oh, is he asleep as well? You were asleep? Or?
I probably would have slept on Griod's watch.
Actually, no, I'll wake up the entire camp, actually.
Oh, I would probably already be awake by now.
Yeah. I would like kind of go to each one of the ears and shake you up and tell you that these 3 figures, or there's something in the bushes.
And by the time you've gone around the camp and woken each person up and told them, and as you try and group everyone together to point out where they were, you can see that they're not where they were anymore.
I cast mage armor. So yeah, I do seriously cast mage armor, but I would also, you know, peer around for whatever them, wherever, whatever.
I would say to everyone, does anyone object to me waving to them?
With a perception of 20, give me a second. I'm not sure if you'll see these rolls. We shall see. You see
for the record, we can see those rolls too, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So is that what we're here to get? One was stealth for
Do I notice
23.
if they're armed or anything?
You can't in the darkness, and
Alright, well, I mean, I'd shout, alright, the two of you, that's far enough!
coming from the darkness. We were trying to keep our distance anyway.
Are you passing through, then?
We are wandering. We are searching.
I think it's unlikely that you're searching for us, then?
I would not imagine so.
Are you searching for something specific? Sorry? Because, you know, the ocean's here.
We search for our Lord, for his belongings and what belongs to him.
Trying to take a little step back and just hold on.
Well, you'll excuse us for being on our guard, but I don't believe we have them. We have no idea who your lord is or what things you're looking for.
That is probably for the better.
On all sides, I agree. I wish you luck in your search.
And you don't get a reply. They seem to back off, though, and disappear once more.
Well, that was, something.
That was,
I'd still like to quite try to get a little bit longer a bit of sleep, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea.
You, finish off your sleep until your next watch. Wake you up if there's any other problems. Or if we have any
I
problems.
believe Riyadh took the first one.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, go back to sleep there. You'll be alright for the morning.
Yeah, it's Roland's watch now.
Yep.
Which
Yay, my watch.
during your watch, Roland, nothing happens. You don't see or hear anything from the figures that you saw throughout the night. You're unsure of what that may mean, but as far as you can tell, they seem to have parted ways and left you to your devices. And with that, we are on the next day.
Past that incident. Cool.
So I would like
Yeah.
to sort of go over where they were and look for tracks and see if I can sort of figure out in which direction at least they were heading in.
Yep. Give me investigation, actually. No, that's not bad though. You can see the tracks that they left. They're not some otherworldly beings that didn't leave tracks. They were definitely there and existed. At some point they left. It seems if you spent time following all the tracks that were left and actually spent a bit of time in the morning before you left again to figure out everything, you could see that it seems they've circled around your camp once or twice and then departed off in their own direction. It seems to be a different direction to the way you came, but currently is not that you're really aware, but currently you are lost, so you're not exactly sure of directions at the moment. But they don't seem to be in the area. You're pretty confident that they would have moved on at some point during the night.
Okay.
At no point do any tracks lead like through your camp or anything. They weren't invisibly sneaking through your camp. You can be pretty sure.
Right.
Are the tracks going in our general direction where we're going? Oh, sorry, I might. No, it wouldn't be for
I
me.
mean, yes and no. Again, you're lost. You might follow those tracks for 50 feet and then they split off in another direction while you keep going straight. But at the
So,
moment, we're
do we
going to
need?
get a survival roll.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we need? Can I get one of those survival rolls yet?
Yeah,
I would pass
that's what
along
I
the
was about to
information,
do,
by
yeah.
the way.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's better than an 11.
Yep, it is better than an 11, but we will see where you go for the day.
Can I get some guidance on these?
No, fucking everything's moving around.
A guidance on what,
God.
Fraser?
The survivals.
Oh no, there's a check, eh?
That's one of those DM things, because usually I think of like
Yeah.
guidance being useful for a short, I'm doing this thing right here in the now, whereas this is sort of like an all day, do I get lost kind of thing. Like, I guess
Yeah.
you could walk around casting guidance on yourself every 5 minutes, but... Whoa.
But no, for this,
I don't want to put
for
it
this
that
we
way.
will say that no, guidance cannot be used.
Just massive no guidance on survival checks like that.
Yeah. Please move the right one. Yes, there we go. Thank you. Finally. Okay.
Perfect.
Give us the 3 perception rolls. Okay. And give us a survival again, Greg. We'll just basically do this if an encounter comes up.
Oh, cool.
Go up to it. Yes, and you guys are aware of where you want to be again.
Were we going in the opposite direction?
You kind of did a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Did we end up back where we started?
Can you see your party
Yes.
token? now?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yes.
So you're there, so now you can decide where you want to go, which I assume would be like here, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then give us 3 perceptions and another survival.
Jesus.
My roll. Okay. And a survival. Yep, so make another move. I assume here. So at this point, based off the map, you can tell to the north you'd probably be able to find something, seeing as it's marked on the map. So it's basically a question: do you guys want to look at Camp Righteous or continue on your way?
I would not say no to looking at it. I think I would 100% leave it up to Jake, whether he is feeling more in a hurry. You know, we're following up his stuff, but I wouldn't press it either if he did not wish to.
Jake?
Oh, whoops! You're talking to myself. Mark muted chat. How much is it to cast that spell? The one that's on
I mean,
moment?
It's free for him, basically.
yeah. I mean, it literally is free for me.
It's one slot every 7 days or 10 days or something like that.
It's not even a slot off of it. It's one of those free spells that doesn't use a slot.
Oh, it's a ritual, is it?
Well, it's not a ritual, but like I get one
Oh, it's a
casting
class-
basically a
yeah,
day for it.
Class
Yeah.
feature, yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Well, we'll go check it out then.
Well then,
More than happy to check that out.
you head north and You come upon an abandoned riverside camp strewn with wreckage. The tents, mouldy and tattered. All permanent structures seem to have been burnt to the ground. You can see 2 intact rowboats tied off to the side of a short dock. North of the camp is a bridge built into a 80-foot, which it has built into it a 80-foot tall stone statue carved to look like a man with a crocodile on his back. Between the statue's feet is a stone archway leading to a dark tunnel. To the left of the statue is a crude animal pen with a small panicked bird running around inside it. There are no other signs of life. And give me a second to slap you guys in it.
How big is that tunnel? Is it dungeon sized?
Well, we will see to that shortly, will we not?
I'm just getting ahead of myself here.
Put you guys yourselves down and around here somewhere.
Everything's black for us, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to grab something, and maybe we'll get sight.
Um,
Maybe we won't. I got sight.
How many copies of me do you need?
I do have something.
I
Not
got
anymore.
sight and then got it taken away.
I can set it up. Daylight mode. There. Are we good?
Nope.
I can see.
I
Put your
can.
tokens on like somewhere towards the north side, and then
Yeah.
you'll be able to see.
Pull your token on. and then
I'm on
bring
the
it
wrong
down.
side.
No.
No.
You actually got it right. Come down to the south, guys.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that foot.
It's a magnificent foot. Like, if you're into that, I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
I'm not judging you, but I'm totally fucking judging you.
Did I put myself in a dungeon? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but it's okay. You can come back out here.
Here we go.
And then I need a gold buck.
Surprising how much that blue guy actually looks like a donkey.
Well, I was just thinking that donkey looks a lot like a blue guy.
You're just so racist.
Just think of it, okay? That blue dot at the top there, that's the donkey, and that half a semicircle there is the
I like it.
The carrot. Yeah.
That's the letter he's pulling.
I mean, if the donkey's that round, wouldn't it be a
Yes.
chunky?
Yeah, I was just saying, we've got a nice round donkey.
He'd be thick.
It's a chunky now.
Damn, boy.
Chunky donkey. We've got a name for our donkey yet? Or is it just going to be named Donkey?
Chunky.
Chunky.
Look, I'm totally behind calling the donkey Chunky from now on.
The donkey's name is Chunky. Look, here.
Get a picture of
Get us a
one of
real
those
donkey
buck-toothed
token.
donkeys,
Yeah,
eh?
that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting a donkey token.
Now we're attached to him.
Now you can't lose him.
Shit. Spill my drink.
So what would people like to do?
So, can I do anything to take a glance or take a guess as to when this place was sort of abandoned?
If you give me a second to finish your donkey.
Yes.
No, oh my god, no.
Oh, there's a mule in the third tab.
Okay.
I don't know how different a mule is from a donkey.
There we go. You guys now have a donkey. Oh, what was its name again? Chunky.
Chunky.
Chunky the donkey.
I was thinking chonky is like spelt like donkey, but with a C.
Ah, yeah, that's better. Yeah.
I don't think we can
Chunky
actually
dog.
see it either way. You gotta hit the 3 dots and hit see all now and all that. They just made everything so convoluted and different, and I'm an old man and I don't like change.
But a while ago, at least a couple of months.
Whoa, I see.
What was that for?
For how long ago since this place has been abandoned?
Oh,
Not a recent thing at all, so...
did someone insult for that, or did you perception it?
Oh, I just gotta
No,
guess.
Yeah, it's pretty evident by the rotting and the mildew on the tents and everything.
I would like to search around and see if anyone has been here recently. Not necessarily the occupants, but inhabitants, but anyone else. You know, sort of snooping around, just like us.
Yeah, I was gonna do the same thing. It's like the old burnt wood. See how long it's been maybe burnt for, and
For this
Like
area,
tracks.
and this point, we will go off of initiative then,
Okay.
because there is actually things to happen here. So, roll your initiatives.
I was actually kind of thinking the same thing, but I wanted
I
to
mean-
go see if anything got left behind.
yeah, someone with -1 initiative. I rolled strong for a 19.
You're not in open combat, obviously, at the moment. Like, for the most part, you can just move your tokens and everything to areas you want to explore, but yeah, try keep it in some form of order
Yes, I would
for
like to
reactions and stuff.
attempt to stealth, but I'm not casting anything. So,
that's
you
fine.
know,
And
I'm a sneaky boy.
Yeah.
you're
I'm-
so sneaky.
Are you that
I'm
sneaky,
always-
Grim? Like,
I'm a sneaky boy.
without a trace, sneaky. Yep.
But I'll swear.
And-
I'm always trying to be sneaky.
Big Smart is happy to look after the donkey and what seems to be relative safety over here where we came in. So
Okay.
you guys don't need to worry about dragging that around. But do you
Okay.
guys ask the Tabaxi to do anything in particular? And yeah, that's a 25-foot drop there, remember, Grim?
Oh, yeah. I forgot that real maps have elevation.
Yeah. So yeah,
I would-
you guys have kind of walked in on what seems to be a small plateau to the side of the shrine overlooking the rest of the camp. The shrine itself blocks out most of the stuff to the north.
So you said this was sort of carved into this, or is this on top of it? Like, does it raise up out of the ground, or
Well,
is it
look
sort of
at
because it
the-
looks like it's cut off, on the map, but whether that's just the
Look
map.
at the insert.
Okay.
There's an insert to the top right that shows you kind of how it's set out.
Oh,
So you guys are on that middle plateau.
I would
that-
have to
the
pull my
lizard
token
man.
to the top right.
Oh, is that
Oh.
like actual?
Yeah, we're still in like shadows and stuff.
Oh, okay.
The real
No,
lighting is on, so we can't see like
Sorry.
inside the buildings and
Yeah, I
stuff
can
like
see
that.
that.
How can I?
I mean, I'm okay keeping
Did
it
that
on
help?
there too.
Yep.
That
Perfect.
does help. Okay, yeah, that definitely explains it.
Yes. Sorry. I forgot I need to turn it on then off again.
That's
Retarded.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So yes, you guys are on that middle plateau area.
what a donkey.
Hey,
I mean, I certainly turned to Big Smart, and anything about this one? From any of you?
At this point, River would probably step forward and it's a Cholton, one of the Cholton gods, I believe. It's I wouldn't know its name, but this is an old camp from. Give me a sec. The Order of the Gauntlet. They came to explore it first, but apparently they were pushed up by something. I don't know what. We would have to actually explore down there and see what caused it. I mean, they're usually not something to be taken lightly, so an entire camp being raised like this, it must have been something big.
I agree, and we should probably take a look out, but you should remain stealthy, like I am.
So you're saying this is that
They are both happy to do that, but she's not very stealthy either.
She's stealthy like I am.
That's survival.
Flask is well. She took your advice. She was as stealthy as you.
Yep.
So you're saying that's a 25
foot drop. Yeah. So you guys are gonna have to actually climb
Rope.
down something like that.
Yeah, we've got some of the rope still, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, you guys. I assume you
I
guys
have-
would have actually like deconstructed your kit that you were working with the statue. So yeah, you've got your ropes and everything still.
So we just type from here, lead it down to there. Yeah?
I have some pythons.
It's fine. We probably wouldn't need like. Well, now I have to stop because I'm like, is that really how you pronounce it? I always thought it was just pittance, but I realize I have no idea.
I honestly have no idea. I was just taking a wild guess.
Yeah, me neither. All right, fair enough. It's probably just like dirt though, not stone. So just a rope around a tree and then down would probably be good enough.
Yeah. Because I'm just throwing my armor on before we go down.
Fingers crossed. But yes, I would attempt to climb down.
But would I gain like a bonus if I continued wearing my armor through the jungle, like a hardened
No.
type of status? No, damn it.
I think there might be a feat that lets you take the disadvantage from wearing plate armor, but I'm not sure. You'd have to look it up.
No, it's just the heat. Yeah,
It's a level thing. Oh yeah, the heat and exhaustion's
Yeah.
another thing. But
So-
for now,
so the heat and exhaustion. But yeah,
give me a dex save.
all of us or just
Whoever wants to climb down the ropes.
I shall do that.
Riyadh is down absolutely fine.
wow.
Yeah, you topple to the ground, Greg, and take 4 damage as you land quite heavily.
Gets back up, dusts his armor off for all in a day's work.
I just assume I saved.
Right there.
All in a day's work.
And the twins get down safely as well. That was rough. These two are kind of mulling with you guys, but for intents and purposes, they're about there now. So, what do you guys want to check out first?
I want to go see if anything was left behind in here.
In this building?
I want to head over to this campfire here and check the ashes. See,
Do I investigate or perceive?
Give me 1 second. We'll do Roland first. So go put your tokens near what you want to be doing, and we'll go through initiative order for that.
I've moved my person. I want
I
to
see.
check
I
this
see that.
out.
Roland, you can see you're in what appears to be a burned out shrine. seems like some kind of battle took place here, and there's overturned lamps that have started fires in what appears to be a partially built building around a shrine, which appears to have set fire to a stockpile of some materials, whatever they might be, cloths or woods or whatever. And it's left the shell as just a burnt out wreck. If you spend 5-10 minutes sifting through the wreckage and the burnt rubbish and everything, you can find a small silver symbol, and it's still hanging from a small leather thong on the far back wall, just on a small peg.
It's like a symbol of a god.
Yeah. You could give me a religion roll if you want to try to see what it is. You could go talk to your cleric.
I'd have a look at. I'd want to have a religion and arcana look at it.
If you want.
I'd-
It's a silver piece of metal that symbolizes a god called Torm. A reasonably common god, even on the mainland. It's not worth anything to you yourself, as I don't imagine you'd be a very religious person, but you could probably
It is made out of silver.
Yeah, and for that fact, you could probably guess it's worth a good 25 gold.
Fraser, what is your religion?
I don't have a
Oh, so no,
religion.
that's any proficiencies to it? Yeah.
I've got just a,
No, that was a nice roll. Anyway, sorry.
yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just going to ask, how do you spell the god's name?
T-O-L-M. Oh, T-O-R-M, sorry, Torm.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'd probably leave this building after that.
Alright, and we'll go to Jack. So, Jack, you were checking out the campfire?
The campfire, the area around the fire, and these two tents here.
Yeah, well,
Mainly the two tents for, like, I don't know if anyone was sleeping in them. Footprints.
yeah. These two tents appear to be some form of command tents. There's scraps of paper on tables left. That's barely scraps. You wouldn't be able to get any legible information from them. Give me a D6 roll. Yeah, you managed to poke around for a little bit. You can't see anything that might be useful, no maps or written ledgers or anything like that, but you can be pretty sure that this would have been some form of command tents where the authority figures of the camp would have overseen the camp from, and the proceedings and workings of the camp.
Alright, what about the fire pit? Is it?
It's a burnt out fire. There's some ash and made out of rocks and stuff like that.
Did you like these? Would you say these are built up of sand around the pit from the wind or something? Blowing in?
No.
Nope.
No, nothing extreme like that. Like, Rio was probably pretty good in his guess that it was a couple of months that this happened.
Yeah.
And as for Riod, because here's the next one up, there's not much in those tents either. They seem to possibly have been lieutenant's tents or something like that, or not the height of the command in the camp, but their seconds and everything like that. It wasn't the general barracks. And that brings us back to the top. Flask would probably go start looking and investigating the statue and the, I guess, ledge that it's on. and all of the inscriptions and everything there. Roland, what are you doing next? You can just move in generally if you want to move somewhere in particular, even if it's out of your 30 feet. It's not like full initiative. Although you can go poking around in places that the other guys have. You might find something they didn't. You're gonna check out that tent as well? Yeah, if you're checking those, give me a D6.
A D6?
Yeah. You don't manage to find anything special either. You make the same conclusions that Jake would have made in his discoveries in the tents. They seem to have been some form of command center, where things were mapped out and planned. But again, there's nothing more than literal scraps of paper, if anything's left at all.
So nothing that can identify who was here before?
Nah.
Okay.
Jake's turn.
My turn? Alright. Wander over to over here. There's no drastic movement, is it?
No, like I said, for this part, you're not actually in combat, so exact movements isn't needed. It's just so we know who's doing what and what I'm addressing at what time. But as you're walking amongst the rows of what are left of the tents, you can see that all of them, every single one of them, are destroyed. They're ripped and torn, seem to have been slashed by claws or weapons during this apparent very large fight that broke through this camp. Basically, all of the canvas is at the point of disintegration. You reach down to pull up a little bit of the canvas material to maybe look in a tent or something, see if anything's left in it. Just disintegrates in your hand.
I was about to say, rip a bit off the tent off, but no,
it's beyond use.
Yeah.
You do see over here in this cage a very small X-beak, and you know it's an X-beak because you've encountered and fought this bird before, but it's a very, very young one, juvenile completely.
How secure would you say that cage was? Is that
it's gotten itself trapped in the enclosure. It's kind of fetting about and looks like it wants to get out, but can't.
It's not showing any hostile.
No, it's not that it hasn't noticed you, just that it's not paying attention to you. It's more concerned about, I want to get out.
No, so I approach the gate and I is it like, what's this gate circumstances under? Is it like a jammed?
Oh, you'd be able to open it. It's basically just a basic gate tied with some rope that's, apparently still strong enough.
Alright, so I untie the rope, open the gates, and just wait for its reaction. See what it does. I'll step aside, just there, like semi out of distance, enough to give it some room to move out.
As you step aside, it dashes out of the gate and runs past you. Doesn't really knock you down. It kind of like stops for a second here in front of you, and I assume you'd move out of the way again for it.
Yeah.
Stand to the side, and then it dashes off into the jungle and disappears into the jungle.
Oh.
And with that, we'll give Rio a turn.
Oh, I do turn to Jake. What was that?
Well, Yeah. It's just and what do you mean? Like, what was it?
Was it?
It's like as he's saying it as like he hope he didn't see him do it, but you know, what do you mean?
Well, I guess would I have likely had seen it? I mean,
Oh, we're back.
I mean, like, you're on the other side of the camp, kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, you could have seen it. I mean, like, this isn't happening in an order, you know.
Sure.
It didn't take you this entire time to go here. You would have gone from the tents that you looked at while he was walking up amongst these camps, and you would have been walking in between the command camps to get up here and everything like that. So yeah, you would have been able to see it and know that it was an X-Beak and everything.
Yeah. Well, was it domesticated? Was it emaciated? Had it been here the entire time?
Oh, when I got here, it looked like it was in more of distress. Like it wanted to get out, like it had been trapped in there. So, yeah. The camp looks like it's been deserted for a couple of months now, and it looks pretty hungry. Yeah.
Well, it's not certainly a bad thing that you've done, but there are things that I could have done given some time. I can speak with animals and things of that nature. Not necessarily right this second, but in the morning we could have, well, asked what happened. And granted, it might not have been able to give an answer, but...
Oh. Well, out of character, have we had any instances where you've told us you talk to animals? You haven't?
No.
Okay. I went back, back in character. Oh, real sorry about that. I honestly didn't know that you could really get in touch like that with animals. Yeah.
Well,
for future references, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I can understand why you may want to free it, but if it was a domesticated animal, it's okay for the animal to be domesticated, and you may have done more harm releasing it into the wild than good.
Yeah, well.
But I understand that your heart was in the right place.
I do see your point there. For next time, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you like, we could go chase it down.
Probably not really worth it. If it, again, is domesticated, there's a chance it would come back to us. Here, what I'll do is I'll conjure up some of the good
if it's
honey.
Domesticated, yeah, it's just shouldn't it really come back to its...
And you could have a couple as well. It'll heal you for that mishap with the cliff as well. But if it comes by, try to feed it that, and we'll call for my attention,
Keeping in mind, Greg, it only actually serves one hit point.
Yeah.
It makes 10, so you'd have to, eat 4 of them.
Yeah. 230 HP, of course. Yeah.
But, I mean, there's no use crying over fleeing X-Beaks, I suppose. Well, I mean, with that, I'd go about just searching for any sort of clue as to what sort of happened in this area amongst the tents. It should be noted I'm less interested in, like, items and things like that, and more sort of the big picture thing. Riyadh's not a very looty kind of guy.
Well, with that, Roland, your turn. At this point, both of the tabaxi seem to be going over the shrine.
Yeah, that was going to be where I said in next. I was like, I'll go up the stairs and have a look down. What can I see?
Everything you could see on the ground, but 5 feet taller, or 5 feet shorter, I should say. Or are you talking about inside the shrine?
And here, because I'm guessing that's a door.
Give me a second. Yeah, it's carved into the stony hillside. Its entrance lies between the feet of the 80-foot high stone statue depicting a man carrying a crocodile back. Yes, that is a door, I believe. Yes. That is a weird door. No, it's not a door. What is that? No, it appears to be... weird. It's a ledge. Apparently.
This right here, this sort of little.
Yeah, apparently it denotes the ledge because that whole thing's on a ledge or something. We will deal to that when we deal to.
I mean, you have to have a look at how the temple's set out in the picture up top right, eh?
Yeah.
So, like, it goes up in stages as it goes up.
But as I said, we will deal to that when we... That's still a good 30 feet away. Is everyone going to come and gather here? Or are we going... What are you actually doing, Roll?
Well, I just wanted to, like, look in there, see what I could see if I could see, like, any traps or anything.
I mean, from outside, you wouldn't see any traps or anything like that. You can see cobwebs, and the roof is just over 20 feet high. And yeah, cobwebs almost draping the entirety of the corridor.
Well, I'd probably just cut down those first cobwebs. I'd wait for everyone else to come before going in.
Alright. Well, Jack, Real, anything else you wanted to check outside, or are you gonna come over here?
The only other real question that I have is about the condition of these boats, but I don't want to give them a full, inspection since we're itching to get in. Just a
I'll give them a quick inspection.
They've seen better days, but they would also definitely still be usable.
Okay.
So,
with that, I probably would at least attempt to pull one. It's probably not necessary, honestly.
No, they seem to have been sitting there for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, disregard. Yeah. I'd group up eventually as well then.
Well, as you group up, as Roland's standing on the platform, I'll call it, for lack of a better word, platform of stone, and the twins seem to be inspecting the inscriptions and the carvings and the murals set into the stone. Anything anyone wanted to do?
Sure. I mean, I'd talk to them. Anything interesting?
I mean, it's all Cholton. It's their rights and everything. The best I can guess seems to be a shrine to some promise that was made between man and crocodile. We do not know the stories and we do not know the culture perfectly, so we couldn't guess much more than that. But it seems that a river was crossed, and I don't know.
Think it might be worth having the goblin take a look?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think he would know much. They don't seem to know too much about human affairs.
Fair enough.
Do either of you know much about Torm? And I pull out the little trinket I found, symbol I found in the lab, and say, I found this trinket in the shrine over there.
That shrug and shake their heads, and we're not religious ourselves. I mean, the Gauntlet probably have their own religion, sects, and everything, but we don't pay attention to the churches and everything.
Are we, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are we to be struck down by a terrible curse if we were to explore this thing?
I mean, as likely as anywhere else, really, isn't it? I mean, if you know magic, you can do curses.
Fair enough.
I think something like this, traps probably be more risky and things like that.
That's probably true. Jake.
Yes.
I would call you over at this point. We're sort of discussing, exploring these ruins and whatnot. To no end, honestly, just sort of idle curiosity. I mean, who knows what leads we can find, but anyone in opposition?
Well, no.
All right. Let's go. Let's get with Big Smart. We can have him come down here, perhaps get our donkey down, sort of set up in one of these tents, and we can see what's on the outside then. Our guides, and I would nod towards River and Flask, respectively, have cautioned us about traps, though, so I guess watch where you step.
All right.
So, did we want to try and get the donkey and Big Smart down?
Yeah, like, is there anywhere we could see that we could walk him
The donkey,
down?
no. The donkey, no, not without probably a good 2-3 hours journey to find where the
The whole way around.
Okay.
yeah, find the way around and come back. I mean, Big Smart can make the climb more than likely. Easy enough, but
Just a donkey.
Sure.
the donkey can't.
Sorry, no, what was it called? Chunk.
Okay.
Chunk.
I just hope it would have been easy.
I mean,
yeah.
you guys could also just set up camp on the plateau.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be reasonably secure there. You've got a 25-foot fall above you and a 25-foot fall below you.
Yeah. Which is what I suppose we would do.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the donkey and
Yeah.
Very smart.
Just
camping up
Okay.
over here.
Mhm.
We
We'll
could,
just have
we
basically,
could tie the donkey up to that tree.
yeah, just have the camp around here, and then you can just go up and down as you need to.
Yeah.
If you guys are spending, days or nights here. It's Speaking of which, yes, it would be probably mid-afternoon about this time by the time you turned up and had looked around camp and everything.
So
So
how
they-
far in can we see this place?
It's really dark in there. You could probably see 20, maybe 30 feet before the light started failing completely.
Well, I'm gonna do the
But
old.
What of us with dark vision to 120 feet?
Yeah, well, that's different.
I'd do the old light trick where you cast light on a rock and you just toss it in.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a dark.
What are your Oh, sorry.
Okay.
What are your bees like? Like, are they?
What do
Could
you
you
mean?
like? See them? Like, are you in touch with your bees? Like, do you communicate with them like you would
Not
with, like, other animals?
on a daily
Would you have-
basis. It's not
Like, would you be able to
something
send them down that corridor?
I
Yeah,
do
would you be able to send them
often.
down the corridor and then have them relay some information back to you?
As I sort of mentioned from my story, we have a maybe the best way to put it is a terse relationship. I mean, it's sort of a symbiotic thing. We aren't. It's complicated.
All right then.
Short answer: no, I don't believe he.
Yes.
Yeah.
He can't use them as a familiar.
Yeah, they're more fluff than anything.
But yeah, it looks like a 10-foot across corridor. It's dark. It has really quite thick cobwebbing and everything across it, as if nothing else has really gone in, at least in the past few months, if not longer.
And, just one of those little details. I'm assuming these are more like normal-sized spider webs and not like...
Yeah, it's not like Drider webs or something like that.
Right.
It's just a dank crypt where you walk through the entrance and you basically walk through a wall of cobweb.
Understood. Roland, traps. How keen are you to discover them?
Well, I like to discover them before I discover the trigger.
Understood.
I like to discover the trigger, not have the trigger discover me.
I guess, and I don't mean this to sound maybe the way it sounds, but how confident are you about doing that thing?
I don't think there's any traps in there.
All right. I suppose we'll be right behind you then.
He
I mean-
he says as he's still at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
God, we'll wait. But yes, if you wish to start making your way in, are you going to... Oh, was that perception roll a trap check?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't find any traps for the next 5-10 feet. We'll say you're checking for the 10 feet, so 2 squares ahead of you.
So I could move to there
Yes.
and then check again.
Yes. Odds or evens first.
Even?
Odds. As you step onto the ground, all of a sudden, the floor underneath you isn't there, and you find yourself dropping a good 20 feet.
Ow.
I would swear and shout, Roland found some traps!
So that is 7 damage. Roland's dead.
Ow.
Ow, ow, ow.
And sort of very cautiously come to the edge of the pit. Are you alright?
It hurts, but otherwise I'll be fine.
Is there anything down there?
No.
I take a look around.
It's got probably a good inch of soft dirt and grime. It's very much not so much earth dirt, more dirtiness dirt at the bottom. But besides that, you can't see any bones or any previous victims.
Not really.
From the top up there, Riod, you can see that there's on each side of the pit there seems to be a small ledge that you're pretty sure you can still cross.
The bathroom is too dark, so whenever I open my eyes, it just fades into black.
Okay, hold on, kiddo. Alright, it's about that time where I gotta put my kid down. Her Christmas special is over, so you guys can continue on without me for a little bit, or do whatever. Before we do anything, though, I would share the rest of the the good berries, the good honey with Roland to try to heal them up, those couple.
So yeah, you can take
6.
Oh, 5 because you put 1 out for the XP.
So I don't know if the question's been asked,
So
but
is that 5 hit points?
Right.
Yes, it is. And
But I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Is there any way to spot traps before they even go off? Like, is there a check that I can do?
Yeah, that was the check that Fraser was doing.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't.
What's your wisdom, Fraser?
He
What's
just
your
didn't make it.
Have you got any
not very
proficiencies to it?
wise. Not very wise.
I've got +5 to it.
My perception is +0.
Yeah, the cleric should probably be doing the trap checking. But it's the fact that the cleric doesn't have advantage on dex saves.
No, yeah. But, like, we could team it together, couldn't we? Like, I could spot for the traps and you could use his dex saves.
Well, no,
because it's me getting
the dex saves come into play when you don't spot the trap.
But can one of you guys grab this and then I throw half a rope out, but I'll hold on to one end and throw some rope out.
I would step over and then catch the rope.
By the way, you can move to this space.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the starting of the pit.
Oh yeah, I'll catch the rope as you throw it up.
He just rolled low on his perception.
I'll climb back up if I can.
Give me a dexterity roll with advantage because you got someone helping you.
Dexterity save or flat dex?
Just flat dex.
Oh yeah,
You
nice.
skitter up your rope quite easily. So you got a 10-foot pit to cross. You've got a small ledge on either side of the pit, though, that you could probably use to shimmy your way across slowly. Flask seems to be coming with you guys, while River seems to be waiting outside and continuing to inspect the murals and carvings.
Okay. So this ledge, is it enough for me to shimmy across with my armor on?
Yeah. You'll just be doing the check that I'm about to throw at you if you do it at disadvantage. So give me a acrobatics check with disadvantage for you, Greg. For anyone who wants to try and get across the ledges.
What sort of check is a jump?
Wow.
Oof.
Oh, that is a huge fail.
So Jake loses his footing about halfway across and skitters down into the pit also.
Is it a spike pit?
No, it's flat at the bottom. but yeah, it's still 7 damage.
What sort of check would a jump?
Check the jumping rules.
Yeah, I forgot jumping. Rule.
Cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot before the jump. When you make a standing long jump, you can only leap half the distance.
Yeah, I'll try shimmy.
Yep. Give me that acrobatics. You managed to make it across the pit.
So
Keeping in mind that he's still in the pit.
Yeah, I'm still
where
down
is the end of the pit?
I've put you on the other side of the pit. It's a 10-foot across pit.
Alright, so now I drop
How
my
deep down?
end of the rope down into the pit, and I'm like, hey, thanks for
Just
helping
remember,
me
I've still
out.
got my armor on here, eh? I've still got my armor on.
I
So
might not
what
be
if
able to carry-
what if I take my armor off, you throw the rope down, and I'll tie it 2 pieces at a time up, so you can drag it up?
Keeping in mind that means that you're going to be in the pit taking your armor off for half an hour.
I mean, is there any poisons in the pit?
No.
No? Is there any immediate
There
danger?
can be.
Try climb out. Yeah,
well,
there can be if
I
you
do.
want.
I do have flasks of oil.
I mean, like, let's not go there, boys. let's be polite now.
Just to recap, Grim,
Mhm.
Jake also fell in the pit.
Oh, no.
I tried to cross a little ledge with my armor on, and it sent me flying into the pit, and I took 7 health.
Oh,
But yes,
dear.
if you wish to try and use the ledges to get across, give me an acrobatics check, or you can make a strength check for the jump. Well, not a strength check. You can jump if you can make that jump.
Well, I mean, athletics, I'm not making. But if the 2 guides would like to go across as well, I will, guidance them across too. And then come up last.
Flask is the only one coming in with you guys. River seems to be staying outside and investigating the carvings and everything to see if she can figure anything else out.
Okay. Either
You
way,
kind of
I'll give
hint
him
to
the
anything.
1d4, and then, of course, I'll use it myself.
Alright. Oh, gives us an acrobatics.
Oof.
Flask also falls in.
Welcome.
How are so many people? Oh wait, no, that was with your D4A.
Yeah.
Okay, so he makes it across. I was going to say, how are so many people falling?
What do I need to make it across? Like a
DC
13?
10.
DC a 10?
Yeah. Basic as to get across.
And I rolled 0 on it.
you know what you got? Oh, you just needed to put a 1 in front of that.
Oh, yeah, yep.
So if you're
Yeah,
gonna
Alright,
try and get
well, I
across,
will.
Grum?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
you're perfect.
just leave yourself over there for now, so
Okay,
we're not stacking
sure.
tokens. How are we getting?
So the boys just throw ropes down
Well,
and just all
between
drag at once.
Between the 3 of us, we should be able to drag them
Yeah.
up, shouldn't we?
Should have enough strength.
What's your strength?
Who?
I'm
You
at,
do.
10.
Yeah,
I
same
am
for
average.
Flask. Same for Flask.
7.
Okay.
I'm sitting at 10.
I got 7.
You don't play into this. You managed to tie
Amongst
some ropes
us, we
around
have
you.
27.
Oh,
But with 3 of you guys working together to pull him up, a 19, because I'll give it advantage for that, manages to get him up reasonably easy. Yes. What are we doing next? Are we continuing on? Because as it
Do-
stands,
Did you want to do the looky-loo now?
I mean, yeah, your perception roll might be good before you guys keep it going down the corridor.
Can I slam that wisdom check for another spot for a trap?
Give me a perception
Perception.
check. Yeah.
I am trusting our very confident rogue.
Perception.
Oh, was that supposed to be from all of us, or?
No, not just whoever's checking for traps.
Yeah,
One
just
of yours.
just
Yeah.
because I did first, I want to check for traps. So I'm gonna stay just checking for traps. Because I trust my judgment.
Only one person's
Yeah, I already rolled for
played into it
perception.
anyway.
Ah.
As you're about to turn around and start heading down the next step of the corridor, and amongst the thick cobwebs, you notice a couple of niches in the wall on either side. There seems to be some kind of crack or fissure in the wall, an opening of some description.
Alright. Have you finished describing the traps?
I've finished describing as much as you know about the
Yeah,
traps.
but okay, yep.
But
Alright.
you are pretty sure it seems to be another form of trap.
So turn to our master of traps. Do you have any? Do you have any input on this one?
I mean,
If you want to give me an investigation to see what kind of trap it is,
I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
Plus
Hold on,
zero.
hold on. Can I roll for that as well? Because we're both looking at it
No.
at the same time.
no,
You
no.
could,
Oh,
you
come
could guidance
on.
Can,
it.
can you guidance it
Uh-huh.
though?
You noticed
You
the
could
trap, and
guidance
then
it though.
you literally went, "Hey, there's a trap there, master of traps. What kind of trap is it?" And Roland tells you that something seems to come out of the wall. He's not sure what will come out of the wall, but something.
Now that I am aware of the trap though, can I look around for something that might be a potential trigger?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yes.
Could I roll for investigation on it? No.
What role would that be? And can I have a guidance?
Give me another perception then.
Can I have a guidance?
If they want to use the guidance on you.
If only you roll good. Okay. What have we got? Yeah.
Have a 2 for your guidance.
Oh, I'm going toilet. I'm going toilet.
You don't see any kind of triggering mechanism or anything beyond that. As far as you're aware, moving down the corridor, you'll have a good chance, it seems, of triggering these traps, and something will come out of them.
I think this trap just knows when you walk past it.
Quite possible.
Can we
That's
throw something past it and trigger it then?
You can try.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
This is all just in character stuff, you know. Do you have a dagger of some sort you can toss through?
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna. Okay.
Sometimes, bro, I just want to punch your rolls, eh?
It is kind
So you're gonna chuck something down the hallway?
Yeah, I'll throw an arrow away.
Oh, nothing happens. Whether whatever you threw wasn't heavy enough or you didn't hit the trigger, you don't trigger the trap.
I think it might have already gone off.
So was there a
Famous last words.
hey.
That's the worst thing to say in a dungeon. I think this trap's already been triggered.
I like it.
what was the trigger? What was the trigger to the trap?
You didn't
There you
find any form of trigger that you can notice. As far as
And-
you're aware, moving down the corridor has
Can
a
I give
chance
it an
of triggering
investigation?
the trap. No. Because it just sets a bad precedence for everyone skill checking until someone gets it. Usually the first roll goes. If you want to assist, you can assist and give advantages or guidances and stuff like that. But as it stands, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not going to risk anything, and if I don't know how the trap triggers or anything, I'm not going to risk it. So I'll
You know,
From the back, I'm gonna say, well, if it's already been triggered, just head through.
I'll walk forward. I'll walk forward.
Odds or evens?
odds or evens.
Evens. Stick with my guy.
You get through. Okay.
Uh.
Nothing triggers or goes off.
What is
I'll just take another step.
what is Flask's reaction to all of this?
He's kind of just like, he hasn't done much of the whole dungeon delving and having to deal with traps and stuff, so he's
Mhm.
kind of letting you guys take point on this factor, but he's kind of watching like, I honestly didn't think that this was how it's done, but if this is how it's done, then we'll get through somehow.
All right.
But
So I did take another step forward.
yeah, but we'll just put you here for now to signify the end, and we'll stack everyone here. Is someone else going to continue through?
Is it just me going along by myself at the point?
No, I mean we should continue with whatever order. Like we
Yeah, it's more-
genuinely think the trap has been triggered at this point already. You know what I mean? Like,
But weren't those words said like 2 minutes ago? Famous last words.
well, yeah, but like, that's the difference between out of character knowledge and in character knowledge. In
Yeah.
character, we don't know what's going on. We can't figure out the trap. We think it's been proposed that it's already triggered. Roland went through fine. It sure looks like it's triggered. You know what I mean? This is one
it
of
had
those
already been
kinds where
triggered.
you,
That's why I walked through.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. Within my heavy armor, I take a step forward, and I take a step forward into the trap.
You manage to cross and nothing happens either.
Cross right across. Can I take one more step?
No, stay next to Roland, just because the traps work at a certain basis. Yeah, there's fine actually, because that's the next area. But if you're not making any dire quick attempts to move first, Flask
Yeah, I was about to say,
starts
yeah.
stepping forward, and he puts his bid on odds, gets evens, and you watch as out of a bunch of these niches and holes and the scythes comes slapping out,
oh god!
and he makes the dex save, but still takes
Ow!
9 damage.
That trap was not triggered.
Hey!
And as he's kind of standing there looking a lot sorer now, I mean, He's not shaky on his feet or anything now. He's definitely got a couple of deep gouges, bleeding a bit more freely. He kind of gives a shocked look, and then continues walking on next to you guys. As he does so, the scythes recede back into the wall. Triod's turn.
Well, at this point, knowing that it's not been triggered, can I myself look over it and all that?
Yeah, if you want.
Sure.
It has for sure been triggered now. Like, you just saw it got triggered.
So I'm gonna guidance, and then would you like perception or the eye one?
Perception or investigation, either or.
What's that for?
Give it a choice. I would definitely.
Wow.
Well.
You know it has scythes in the mix somehow, whether that's investigating the trap or seeing your tabaxi friend trigger the trap himself. You know scythes are involved, and that seems to be what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you don't find any triggers or anything like that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna head on through it, and between heads and tails, tails never fails, and between even odd, odd is tails.
Right.
Oh, you managed to step
Wait, hold on.
hearing any loud scythy noises. You managed to get through without having to worry about massive gouges appearing on your body either.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, we need to have a little talk about what's going on right here. These traps.
And what talk are you talking about? He's talking about like how we fail traps, or like.
I came across no problem with that trap. I didn't realize it.
No, I believe that you
I'm
didn't
very
come across
sorry.
any issues with that trap. I was more thinking of like that trap and the trap before that trap. Perhaps you're not the most observant person who should be looking for the traps.
So Jake looks at Riod and nods his head very violently.
How about I go ahead and take point on this one for a little bit and look for the traps?
I mean, yeah, I do not oppose to that.
And then I step
Just
forward,
about-
oblivious of traps.
Just new pair of eyes,
Can you
yeah.
imagine?
Dennis could roll him. Dennis, ow, that's not a nice way to attack. Case.
As
you.
you guys have your discussion, and I assume would continue on to the next little stage of your small journey, you hear from behind you. She says, guys, I think I figured something out. Seems that the shrine requires some form of teamwork or some kind of enactment.
To
Like
get
a ritual in that.
into the shrine, or
I haven't been able to get that much, but the story that's being told on the inscriptions seems to talk about a human and an alligator helping each other by riding on each other's backs across a river, and then through humanity. The alligator wanted to see the man's kingdom, but didn't trust humans or something.
all right.
Makes
So
some sense.
maybe we have to have a certain amount of weight, and then if we have that amount of weight, we won't trigger the traps. I mean, or we'll trigger them twice as hard. Who knows? It's a bit silly, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah. What if we all stand in the Scythe area?
How much is 10
this a
gallons
scythe
of water,
area? 'Cause
bro?
I thought like this was sort
Are
of
we-
the scythe
Are we
area.
gonna sit back inside the 4d8 damage area? Are we really gonna go back in there and try to trigger it?
No, yeah. I mean, like my suggestion is that we continue forward looking for traps, but if we come across the traps, I mean, look, as silly as it might be, maybe we do need a certain amount of weight crossing, and that will not trigger the trap.
Yeah, like how much liters is 10 gallons of water? Would you know, Grim? In conversion, or
I mean, real
It's
life,
like-
a gallon of
It's
water
like
is like 8
4
pounds.
liters.
isn't it 3.2? You know what? I'll Google it.
So, 80 pounds, way less than, a grown man. Well, maybe not way less, but...
So one gallon is 4.5 liters. And how big would you say these pits are?
The pit was 20
Yeah.
feet.
We don't exactly know what this area that we're in right now is. There was the pit trap, like here, and then there was the scythe trap, which is ironically where you two are standing, Flask and Roland, but I don't think this little bit was exactly described to us.
Well, I jumped from here.
I think it was
I
when
never
I
set it off, and then jumped down here and never set anything off in full armor.
I thought it was getting set off as we moved there.
I can't wait to explain it to you guys after the session.
No, traps are the worst because it's such a simple thing, but you feel so stupid in the when it's actually
Don't worry.
happening.
This next one's an absolute bitch, and that isn't explained very well, so I'm gonna have to figure out how you guys work this one out.
Fair enough. Either way, I am going to look for further traps. I'm going to guidance and then perception.
As you continue along, you actually come across to
So
a
bad.
ledge that's about 7 feet high.
This is this area
So-
right in front of us, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little squared, bricky area.
This might just be a guess, guys, but I think that ritual, maybe we need to stand on each other's shoulders to get up there.
First, everyone give me a perception check.
Everyone?
Do you want me to do another one, or do you want me to count?
Oh,
that one?
wait, no, never mind. That's not yet, that's the other side. Ah, yes, okay. So, ahead of you is a ledge that's about 7 feet high. If you boost yourself to get the area north edge forms a 16-foot high terrace, which is tiled by a pattern of squares. There's just enough room for a person to stand at the top edge without stepping on the tiles. Beyond that, the pattern covers clear back to another 7 high ledge that separates this section of the next area. The wooden door by pattern carved into it.
What?
I'm just gonna put it out there. Can this trap be luck based?
I'll tell you that this one is not. The past two were a luck-based thing. They were a 50-50 chance of being triggered.
I like it.
It's my rule, and it's the module. dicking with you, not as hard as this one. So basically, you've got tiles in front of you, a 4x4 grid pattern in front of you. Door across from you, you can see something that looks like the same kind of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But from where you're standing before the quote-unquote trap, you can't see the pattern around. You have to
Because
go
we're
up
technically
to
on this side
terrace.
of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that might be a better thing to do. Put yourselves like that.
Yeah.
So is there any distinctive markings, like differences between the two things that look the same?
Not that you can see. If you want to climb up to the terrace, then you can and have a look.
Is there any?
Is that the terrace?
Yeah, that's the end at the door.
Well, yes, I
So
would
just
like to
basically
climb
say
up.
that you're doing it. Just don't actually move your token currently. So now give
Yes,
me
I
a
would like to.
perception.
Is guidance a touch thing? Can someone guide me?
Yeah.
It is a touch thing, I believe.
Well,
Sorry.
then ignore the extra.
Oh yeah, when you get
If
the
it's a
details.
touch thing.
That's fine. You can see the 4x4 bit of pattern. You can't see the bottom the pattern, but you, just because of the angles and everything, standing on the terrace, the lip of the terrace cuts off the pattern of the door. But you can see almost a faint glowing pattern.
Are there ledges
What?
within inside that pit, like on the side of the walls, from
No,
hanging from the roof? and things?
Only the one that Roland is currently standing on.
When you say a slight glowing pattern, how many of the 4x4 tiles are lit up?
It almost looks like it was a pattern across the tiles, but again, you're missing at least one of the columns.
Okay, because this is a hard one to sort of describe, I think.
Yeah,
So I'm going
it
to
is.
like draw all over everything. Are you saying like it's a real simple thing, like, you know, sort of something like this going on, or?
Between the faintness of the glowing and the fact that you can't accurately see the entire thing, it could be that, or it could be something like this, or anything like that. It could be.
Okay.
It just seems to be a pattern across. I mean, we all know traps. I can imagine you guys can figure out what you guys might need to do for the pattern, but it's figuring out the pattern and how to see it all. Or you can just try and wing it.
No. That's river behind us, eh?
River is at the entrance. Flask
Yes,
is
yep.
with you guys.
Tired looking yellow at river. What were those descriptions on that? Inscribed on that piece thing you were reading from?
I mean, it's more of just like a story, I guess.
No, the more of the like the person having to be carried on the back of something you were saying.
It wasn't an inscription. It was the pictures and murals. They make a story if you follow them, and it seemed to be a story about a man going across a river and then taking the alligator into his lands and his communities. I mean, I'm no Cholton expert or anything like that, so I honestly can't tell you exactly what the story is. Sorry.
What happened to the man? Did the alligator eat him?
I mean,
Okay.
no, as far as I could tell, it seemed to be a quote-unquote happy story.
This feels incredibly silly, but do we want to have someone carry someone across?
Yeah,
Attempting to jump from stone to stone or step on whatever looks...
I was just thinking about that.
Oh, just before we did that, I was just gonna ask, like, assuming that this row here was the top, would what would the pattern I could see be?
Yeah, well, what are the patterns on the 4 glowing tiles?
I will,
Like, if I were to assume this row was the top row on the pattern.
sorry, that's a misspeak on my thing and not reading the trap properly. You can see the slight glow, but you can't see which tile is lit up. The only tiles that are lit up, the one at the bottom that is out of your view.
Oh.
How you're standing.
All right. So,
I reckon,
what if
someone jumping on someone's back, going across these tiles. I did, yeah. I'll volunteer myself to be one of the ones that carry someone over.
All right, well, hold on, because hear me out.
All right.
What if we get a rope and grappling hook or something and just anchor it to the other side, and then attempt to shimmy across it without even, touching this floor? It's likely not easy.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of anchor
Just a
points like
flat
that.
ledge, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this now. Honestly, you probably wouldn't have even thought of that idea because it would be possible.
Okay.
Not to tell you what you do and don't think in character, of
Sure.
course, but yeah, it would not be possible. Like as it is, Roland's the only one that's been able to actually climb up on the ledge and everything. There's only space on the ledge for one person to stand before someone has to be standing.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm standing over here, what's this?
That's the door.
It's just a door.
Yeah, that's
So
the
the-
No
door.
handle, no nothing.
So
No,
when
that's what has the glowing tile on it, but you can't see which tile is glowing because your eyesight is too low to see under the ledge.
so
the
from what tile did River? What tile did Flask touch?
He hasn't touched anything on this next trap.
No. Oh, this is
Are
a next trap.
you still hung up on this scythe trap? Jesus.
That's right. No. Yes, I was actually, yes. For a
Yeah.
second there. Cool. Well, that'll explain a lot then. Well, in that case, has anyone been in there yet?
Mm-mm.
Not into this next area. Roland's climbed up to get a view, and I assume he would have told you about the glowing on the other side. And so by rights, you guys have more information for the trap than you guys should have, I guess.
I am not reassured.
So, so his vision's pretty much dim. He can't see what tiles are lit up at the moment.
No, it's because he can see the 3 tiles or the 3 rows of tiles that aren't lit up, and he can see a faint glowing of the tiles that are lit, of the tile that's lit up, but he can't see which of what it is because
Oh, so you said they're in a row. They're not like 1, 2, and then 2 on the other bottom, like 2 on top, 2 on bottom.
it follows the same grid as what's in front of you
What's
on
in
the
front of
map.
us.
Yeah.
Right, so it is,
4x4 on the door
Yeah.
as well. But the bottom of the door is where it's glowing, and that is below the lip of the ledge that the puzzle is on.
Well,
Okay, so I reckon I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna take the step. I'm gonna jump down.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's this one here. That's okay. I'll jump down onto here. Oh, first of all, have we got a rope that we could tie around something to anchor, in case something goes abysmally wrong? You can pull me back up. I'll be able to get a rope.
I mean, we
around us.
can hold on to a rope, but
Yep.
I would be
Doesn't work.
guessing there's not a lot of stuff to anchor it onto.
No.
I'm figuring, sides are pretty smooth and all that.
Yeah,
No,
it's
we've got three. We've got three
cup
men
stuff.
there. Yep.
So you're gonna
So I'm
try
okay
and
with that. Yep. Tie a rope around me. Always grab a hold of it. The team grabs a hold of it, and I jump down.
give me a guess on 1, 2, 3, or
3.
2. So, as you
Oh
land
my god!
on one of the tiles, you hear a roar from either side of you, and make a dexterity saving.
Oh, fuck!
And it's at disadvantage because you're in plate.
It's alright. I've got nothing towards it. It's incredible.
I'm gonna, because I feel like I'm. Okay, no. Okay, you take 16 damage as you're in fire from either side.
We need 16.
Either side.
We need to rethink this. All right, we're at a camp, basically at the feet of this incredibly dangerous thing. Surely there's some sort of record of the traps or something in there. We just didn't search hard enough. This is going to get us nowhere other than an early grave.
Well, you got to look at like the tiles that are at the front at the moment, right? And you've got 4 tiles on the ground. Those tiles that are on the door must correspond with the tiles on the ground.
I've got to actually ask though. Are you still standing, Greg? Because that's a lot of damage that you've taken at this.
7, yeah, I'm so bloodied up just a little bit.
16. Yeah.
But I could is that initiative roll for the plays that we're making now?
Yeah, that all counts
Does?
now if there's something that needs initiative, but we don't need initiative because you
Okay,
guys
well in that case I'll
have
just
a cool dungeon.
use a spell slot.
Yeah, you can cast spells and stuff. Yeah. Just obviously, if you're gonna move, tell me if you're moving across the tiles in any direction.
Well, that's just my thought anyway. Those 4 tiles there are on the door must correspond to the 4 tiles here on the ground that are on the door. Yeah.
And I agree with you, and that's a good point, but do they look like they correspond in any way? Like, does one have a circle and says, not the trap?
But yeah, that...
One's glowing, if only you could see it.
Like, that's the other thing. I don't quite understand if you could see it. Do you mean, like, it's too dark to see? I don't...
I will pull us onto a free map. We'll just draw it. That's cool.
Okay.
So basically, like, if this is from a side view of what I'm picturing the trap to basically be like, and then this is the little ledge that Robin's standing on here.
Okay.
So he can't see the tile that's glowing down here of the door because his viewpoint would be somewhere like here, so it cuts off bottom here. I know it's really hard to see because there's not different colors and stuff.
Okay, see, because I thought I got you now, and I could really easily do this one now. See, I thought it was more like this, like it was a pit down into it.
No. It's up above yous.
Oh,
right, because of the geometry of the statue, yeah, because we're going up through the levels.
I got you. Well, I mean, like, I have the BS way around this, but I mean, at this point...
The trap is worded stupidly in this. It's not
Well,
described very well for the fact it doesn't actually have map to the puzzle.
well, you know, what, you tell us that BS way around this room, right? Out of character, you know. I want to hear it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I can conjure, you know, a spectral bee, and it can communicate with me. I can conjure it, you know, or sight, you know, on the other side of the thing. It just, you know, falls down or flies down or whatever, and then it can communicate with me and tell me what the pattern is.
Yeah, that would. That's. But I was asking you beforehand, like, out of character, of course. I was asking you, like, do you have anything that could go down the hallway and come back and relay stuff to us?
Yeah, but I was missing.
To be fair, you asked if it was his bees that can do that. You didn't ask if he had any other forms of familiar or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And part of that was me misunderstanding the layout of this trap too, because I thought it was like a pit rather than a raised area.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
does
right.
look
Yeah.
like that. It's
I just didn't understand why we couldn't see it if it was a pit.
So before that, we'll cast a healing spell on me, just to bring me back up to fighting standards.
And so, yeah, we will, you know.
Oh, roll the healing everything.
How far are you off that good honey there, Rio? Have you still got to restock it all?
I
or-
mean, I could cast Good Honey again if we
Still on it.
need to.
We don't need to. Just
Okay, I'm down to.
yes,
Yeah, after this casting with the Wasp, I'm down to 2 castings of level 1 spells.
okay,
Are
well,
you gonna roll your?
yeah, cast a healing word. Did that not? Oh,
It just shared the actual spell.
I love it how it does it.
But you would be able to see through Wasp that
Healing.
it was if you were naming
But
one,
it gains bonuses.
1, 2, 3, 4 going downwards. It was on 2 is the glow. 3 being
Yep.
one that Jake dropped onto,
Yeah.
6, 7.
climbed onto.
I mean, at this point, I would say jump on the 2 square. You know.
So I heal for 8 because I've got the +2 from Disciple of Life.
To the appropriate, you know, square.
Are you gonna do that, Jake?
So what appropriate square are we? Someone want to ping it?
2. Just say. We'll just go off of the numbers.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I can point to you which one it is.
Okay,
you know
well,
what I
yeah,
mean?
well, yep. So I'll
And,
move on to the next tile.
and yeah, it doesn't make a difference at this point. We can figure out the trap quite easily because your watches as the next low lights up, and
So we step on the next tile,
Yeah.
which would be like here, and then
so
next tile will
essentially with Riod relaying which one's which to get across, you guys can get across with the help of the spectral wasp.
be- and the quick wits of the paladin. Yes.
What do you mean getting?
I mean the thinking of the paladin.
You're a cleric, aren't you?
Oh, correct. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm getting mixed up now. I'm thinking too much of Path of Exile.
So as you guys get across, you get to another 7-foot high ledge. I assume you guys climb up.
Yes.
So from like what the
I mean,
experience that we're from this, everything that we do from like jumping off a ledge to climbing up gets our HP little by little each time we move through this dungeon.
Welcome to dungeons. You're not meant to come out of them untouched.
But you know, when you're getting smacked for a 16, you're like, ooh, that kind of puts a bit of a
So,
fear in your
like,
mind.
this
It's a little-
door
the
wasn't.
dungeon, you know, you're no longer thinking about, oh yeah, perfect
Yeah,
dungeon.
yeah.
Like, oh, no.
Where
So
we,
you
sorry.
No, what were you saying?
Are we coming up to this door? Did we go through the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, assuming you guys climb onto the ledge, you see a wood door at the back of the ledge. It has no apparent handle or latch, but you can see the squares lit up on.
Do they correspond with the? Is this what the wasp was
Yeah,
looking at? Okay.
Yeah. This is
I
what
gotcha.
was
Yeah.
leading you guys across as well.
That was
Can
harder than it needed to be.
You know what's worse? You guys had it at 1.2. I'll tell you at the end of the dungeon. But you guys had it at 1.
Well, I'm guessing all we had to do was stand shoulder up, and then we would be able to see it. But again, I thought it was down rather than a ledge up.
in all fairness, I thought I had climbed up, but yeah, I was just confused about everything there.
Yeah, like I said, the actual... Oh, here,
I'd like to think that River Mist is just hearing us just cursing under our breaths and whatnot.
Ignore any OOC information, but that's how it's worded. It's retarded. But currently you have a door, 4 glowing squares on it, and no apparent handle anything.
Can it just push open?
Try.
Perception checks. Look for traps.
Oh,
please.
yes.
Yeah, I'll roll for one of those.
Give me an investigation, actually.
And
Yeah,
speaking of which,
one
I
of
can no
those.
longer do guidance while I have my wasp up,
I've got guidance.
which is the next hour or so.
Guidance that can't I?
That investigation check is enough to tell you that the door seems to have a
A what? You broke up.
glyph of warding.
No. Have you got any ideas, boys? No?
Don't get the trap wrong. That's just my advice as DM.
Yeah.
Don't mess the puzzle up.
Can I search the door? Like, am I able to examine the glyph? And the door itself?
Give me an Arcana, but it's going to be at disadvantage because.
Could I get someone else to do an Arcana check? Like, if I relay the information that I want?
I mean, you
Could
can
I have
ask
one of my
someone.
teammates?
You can ask someone, but yeah, only one person give me a Arcana with disadvantage because none of you are exactly.
So I'll just turn to the team and say, does anyone
I'm at
need...
0 Arcana. I can
I've
make
got
the
3.
check, but
Yeah, I've got 3. I'm just hoping someone else is
yeah.
a lot
I
more
think you
smart.
might be the best.
I'll give you an Arcana check. At disadvantage, you're saying?
Yeah.
Guidance yourself.
Yeah, and good guidance.
Yep. Give yourself the guidance as well then. It's definitely going to make a difference. And
14.
it seems to have some kind of evocation magic to it. You wouldn't be able to guess what kind of spell it does, but you're pretty sure it would hurt.
So we've identified it.
So the door itself is lit up with the pattern that was on the floor as well, correct?
Yes.
And how?
I hate traps.
Yes.
The only thing I can think of, does the pattern look like, you could press them? Does they look like buttons?
I mean, they don't look like buttons, and they don't. Well, I suppose I'll ask, do you press them?
If I'm gonna, if I,
I mean, they don't
if I'm gonna
actively
press
look
any
like
of them,
big red buttons or anything like that. But
So they're like tile
if I'm
buttons
gonna-
kind of thing.
if I'm gonna press any of them, it's gonna be like in the same order we walked across.
Hold up, bro. Hold up there. Let's think about this now, okay? I'm all for pushing the buttons, bro. But
To be
I'm not even
honest,
sure if they are, but
I don't see what else you would touch. I mean, they were the safe pattern on the last trap. I guess it depends on how diabolical the trap maker was.
I will note this, that to hit the top row, or to call them buttons, because we seem to be called buttons currently.
Sure.
But to hit the top row ones, you would probably have to jump or be boosted up.
Well,
Oh,
that makes
could I
it more likely. We would have to, like in the story, the crocodile riding on the man's shoulders. You know?
yeah, that's what I was saying. You like the rider on
Could I-
the guy.
As
could
long
I
as
get a lift?
we get them in the same order as the ones we stepped on first. You know, we stepped on 2 first down here, and then blah 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 blah.
Yep.
So as
Yeah.
long
And
as we
then
do that in
correspond
that
onto
order, we can also
That
just
is
get
what
the
I wanted to
beat.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm keen to go with it then. We'll
And,
see what
and
happens.
as an
Okay.
OOC,
Can you boost me up then, please?
So, give me 1 sec for now. So, the order was 2, 3, 4, 1.
2, 3, 4, 1.
Yep, to get across.
Now, like, is it order
Next.
specific? Like, do 2 people have to touch the 2 top? I don't know. Right.
That's what I was asking next. Who was
Ah.
on top, who was on bottom, and who was pressing what buttons?
So I was the person on the bottom.
Yeah. So first, give
Us
me
standing on top.
either a dexterity from Roland or a strength or athletics from Jake, whichever you guys wish to
Dexterity
do.
from Roland.
Please don't. Oh, never mind. I guess
Did
you
he
can't
get
top
Fury
one.
from
Never
Roland?
mind.
Save or roll?
Just a roll. So if you try and climb up his back. Yep, so that's all good. So you're now kind of straddling the back of Jake's shoulders.
And
So
I
who's
say he
pressing which buttons?
And on the door, they lit up from the top down, right?
The bottom of the door is the first line or first
Yeah.
row.
Wait, didn't I step 1, 2, 2,
Yeah.
So here I will
3, and then 4 like that?
So,
So-
starting.
1,
'Cause-
2, 3. I should have really made you guys make a jump check for that. That's okay.
So 1, and then the top left is 2.
This is the bottom of the door.
Yeah, the top is 1 and the bottom is 4. And it goes
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's 1, and that's 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would suggest
So I jump.
pressing the bottom first because, that's the first one we stepped on. We stepped on 2, then 3, then 4, then 1.
Yeah, but does the carrier or the rider, do they have to press? Does the rider have to press the top 2, and then the carrier? Is it the rider? Yeah. So the rider presses the top 2.
Am I back?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's just like a puzzle. I'm just trying to think of it as a puzzle.
Well, I was thinking if we went from
So did you want to press the top 2, and I'll press the bottom 2?
Yeah,
I like
but
press it within order like that.
yeah, I wanted to go from top down. Do you think that would be the right way to go?
I do not think that would be the right way to go. I mean, I think it would be like from where we started, we jumped on 2 first. So I think it would be 2 first that we pressed, from bottom to the top.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say here, because the top one's way too far for me to reach, so you push the 2 tops, and I did the 2 bottoms like that.
But which one do we do first? Because Riyadh says from the bottom first. I say from the top first. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because my thinking is that we went in ascending, so now we're going in descending. I just think that might.
So what you're saying, it's in
I could be.
reverse?
I think it's in reverse, but Riyadh thinks it's in the same way.
Oh God, we're gonna explode.
Yeah, I'm
Cackles in DM.
I'm gonna be back though. I'm gonna get another drink. Like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
right.
This is
keep
more
on.
between you two anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of want to hit the top one first. I think backwards is the right way to go.
I reckon go from order from bottom to top.
You go.
I reckon it's in reverse. That's what you're thinking about, eh? Bottom to top is in reverse.
Yeah, I think that we go for that one, then that one, not that one, then that one.
Yeah, I reckon we'll go in reverse for now. I mean, it's a big, huge gamble, but like, by the sounds of it, that's what these traps are meant to be designed to do, is to take the gamble. Unless you like come in here with full-on information about the area. But yeah, I guess so. So we just go from bottom to top then, yeah.
Yeah.
I touch the 2 bottoms, you touch the 2 tops.
Yeah.
So who's touching their buttons first?
I
So I'll
believe
touch
that.
it in order where it came from, like where the last tile was touched in reverse. So it would be.
So I would touch first.
No. It has to go from order from bottom to top. That's what you were saying, from reverse. So you don't touch. I touch first from the bottom. If you want to reverse it that way, you've got to reverse everything that you do about it too, not just the tiles.
You guys are so gonna get blowing up.
No. I mean, like this one's the bottom line of the door, and this one's the top line of the door. I just want to go this line first, this line first, then that line. I just want to go
basically, Roland
down
wants to work
instead of
down
up.
the door, while you want to work up the door.
Yeah, because I want to do
But
the
in
2
all
bottom.
fairness-
So I want to do the 2 bottom tiles first, and then have him do the 2 top tiles first, and then second upwards after I
Yeah,
do.
well, that's 2 votes from bottom up, so I am outvoted. So you go first.
I'm back.
So from there, from reverse order, I touch the 2 tiles,
And then touches his 2 tiles.
and touches the
And
2
then I
top
touch
tiles
my
in
2.
reverse.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to kill you guys.
Well, did we get it?
Each of the tiles glow a bit more brightly, and then darken, and the door slides open.
So which way was it I missed?
We got it.
It
We
was-
almost
it
killed
was-
ourselves.
let's not talk about which way it was. Let's just move through.
I'm just gonna say this as well, that if you guys had failed that, it's a Thunderwave spell followed by triggering the fucking fire trap.
What? Yeah, we would have been wiped and yeah.
Yeah. Whoever got... if you had gotten that happen to you, Jake, you would have died.
So is
That's
the same
2d8.
order?
Yeah, it was the same order. They almost reversed it too. They almost reversed it. Fraser almost made a good, compelling argument. But it opens up, and the floor of this dusty, roughly 40-foot high, 20-foot wide chamber is littered with what seems to be dinosaur bones. Webs stretch from the walls to a 30-foot tall central. around which is a narrow stone staircase, its steps covered with dust. Carved into the pillar are reliefs of a man carrying a crocodile. Reliefs show follow the stairs to the top of the pillar on which sits a large, beautiful ceramic jug.
Is there anything else around?
Not that you can see. Spiderwebs, bones, and a big pillar with steps and a jug up top.
I will check for traps, ask for guidance. Do you want investigation or perception? You had been asking for
Where are you what are you checking first?
I mean, just the ground and walls just ahead of us. Just literally
Yeah.
bam, bam, you know.
Perception is to find the traps, investigation is to figure out more of the traps.
Okay, fair enough.
So perception first.
Guidance, please.
Yeah, I'll guidance you. I'll guidance on that one. Where are we? There we go. Oh, do I roll it or do you roll it?
No, you can roll it.
It doesn't matter either way.
And then B goes
But
first.
it doesn't seem to be any traps that you can, whether they're there or not, you can't be 100% confident. But a cursory glance over the tells you that there's no immediate threats.
Can I go up the stairs and investigate the jug?
If you wish to. Do you wish to?
I do wish to.
Okay. Or, roll me...
Wait. Bro, we're just like, this dungeon's full of traps, bro.
I gotta find the YouTube video of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And they're talking about the rabbit, right? And they're like, look, it's just a rabbit. And he's like, look at the bones!
Did you want me? Can I investigate those steps?
Yeah, if you want to give the steps a better investigation.
This season,
Investigation. Where are we? There we. Come on, where
Pop
is
it
it?
in the Discord.
Are you doing anything extra while searching for them?
While searching for it. While searching for what?
Big less like are you doing anything special to look any traps or anything?
No, it was just more of just to give the stairs a once over to see if there's anything else on the stairs.
Well, with a 22, you see that it may have been a good idea to stop barreling up the steps, because the third step up seems to have another glyph. Just some of the grime and dirt has been previously jostled free off and uncovered the side of the edge of the glyph.
Is that all I can see from where I'm standing at the moment?
Yeah, unless you want to actually go up the stairs, in which case, you gotta figure out everything.
Because each one of those steps could be booby trapped.
Exactly.
Is anyone?
Or it could just be the third one. Or it could be
It could be
every
like,
other one.
yeah, or it could be like every
Could
second one,
you-
or it could be every step.
In theory.
Is anyone like stopping me from walking up the steps, or?
I think Jake actually would have stopped you and been like, "Yo,
Yeah, I did.
we've been through this many traps,
Sorry,
man."
yeah. I was like, yeah, we've been through so much traps. It's not going to be easy trying to get up these steps. I mean, like, these entire steps could be booby trapped from step one. So,
Okay. My other question would be, how high is the jug?
Yeah, like,
About 30 feet up.
well,
It's on top of the 30-foot pillar.
gotcha.
It's a 30-foot pillar.
I believe that, yes, 30-foot tall central pillar.
I wish I had detect magic prepared.
so these are triggered, right? These
I mean,
are.
as a druid, it only takes you 10 minutes to swap out a
Is it? I
memorized
thought it was
spell.
a daytime thing again.
No.
Can I?
Jesus Christ! I
As
will
long as it's
definitely
basically a
swap
short rest. Yeah, that's why druids are so good, because you can just change your spells out basically whenever the fuck you want.
over. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, that's nice. That's actually pretty cool.
You just can't do it in combat and shit like that. Obviously,
yeah.
it actually takes. You need to sit there for 10 minutes, meditate, change your spells and everything. It's basically a short rest, but you can't be doing anything else.
Right.
Unlike short rests, which are usually just, you're sitting around and catching your breath.
Well, I would tell them, hold on for a few. I can detect magic. Perhaps it will reveal more of these steps, at the very least. And then...
Can I investigate around the room to see if there's any kind of clue while he's doing that?
Yeah, well, he'll take 10 minutes to change his spell.
Yeah, I'm sort of busy
You guys-
communing with nature.
Yeah, I'm just
You guys
sitting
could
here
even
looking
just
at
go up
steps.
the steps slowly and go over each one, but yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, I want to
we know-
have a look if there's any clues around. There is no clues.
None that you find.
You just find some light reading.
Yeah. So far we know that step 3 has a trap. Once Riod has done his redoings and everything, you want to cast Detect Magic.
Yes.
We can do it 2 ways. You could basically cast it over the room and I'll give you how many points of magic there might be, or you can use it as advantage to checking the steps so you don't have to go over every step for 5 minutes. You can basically scan the step before you step on it and such.
I reckon use the advantage on the steps. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Like-
give me 3 investigation checks with advantage. Whoever wants to go up. I should really make
And
Riod
guidance?
do it. No, I'm actually going to ask Riod to do it because he's the one using his magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are not my
So-
strong point. I will dismiss the bee.
Yep.
Obviously,
From
detect
concentration.
magic is concentration, isn't it? Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I do not get any guidance on this one, and you know what? I'm just gonna hit him 3.
But I can throw a guy. Oh no, because you're saying, yeah,
Where
I
am
can't.
I?
Wait, is the DM stopping me from guidance in it?
Blah. Blah.
Wow!
Blah.
Bro, are you stopping me from guidance in any of those?
I'm going to say yes because he's already rolling them with advantage from a magic
Alright.
spell.
Fair enough.
But you managed to make it past the 3rd step because obviously you know it was there and you stepped over it. And then as you're taking each step slowly, you must miscount or something because around the 9th to 12th step somewhere, you trigger something. Whether you just weren't concentrating on your spell quite well enough and you overpassed the magic and didn't pick it up or anything like that, but you step onto one of the trapped things.
Okay.
And what is it? Give me a dexterity save first.
Okay. Dexterity isn't awful.
It's good.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good.
So
That's a nice roll. That's what we're looking for.
half a 17. Sorry, I forgot to turn G and roll off. So what's that? 8. as a ball of lightning grows and explodes on the step underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
But assuming that doesn't dissuade you, you manage to get up to the top of the rest of the steps, pointing out 17th and 23rd steps as also having had glyphs of warding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's knowledge now to all the team.
Assuming
Yeah.
he does actually share it out.
I
But
don't
you
know.
are now standing at the top of the pillar,
Okay, so
and there is a jug in front of you.
could you describe this jug to me?
It seems pretty. I mean, it has some inscriptions and stuff. Probably, you'd guess a shorthand of the story of the shrine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overly ornate or fancy looking or anything like that. Like a jug.
This is
Can we
a
do an
joke. I don't
actually-
actually do it, but I call down. It's just shit.
No, bring it. No, take. Bring
Well,
Jug with you.
actually,
Bring it back down.
no. How long does your detect magic last for?
Hold on. I don't do that, by the way. It's up to 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, you would also get the detection of magic from it.
Okay, I will search for triples.
What? Search for what?
Traps, sorry.
That's fine. No, it seems all of the traps were in this room with the steps you pointed out.
Alright. Well, I'm up here, and there don't appear to be any traps. Are we ready for me to grab it?
Well, there
Yep.
might not be any more traps going to it, but picking up the drug might be a trap itself. You know.
You could,
Well, the dais doesn't appear to be trapped, or the column itself.
So it could disintegrate into dust. If I don't know, say the unworthy picks it up.
Didn't you say it was just a jug? Come on, man.
I actually didn't say that. I mean,
Ah.
that was just a joke. Oh, see.
Bring it down.
He's like, I hate puzzles. eh?
It could be
Are you picking it
valuable.
up?
Yes, I would.
Okay. As you pick it up, chunks of rock and brick start falling from above you. Everybody give me dexterity saving.
Like on to me or range?
I'm not leaving this dungeon.
Oh, everyone's getting hit by it, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone give dex saves.
Dexterity, you're saying?
Yep. So you're at disadvantage.
Please tell me it's a DC 10.
No, it is not.
10.
So,
I die?
possibly, let's see. If you saved... So, yeah, you take 8, roll in, everyone else takes...
Takes what? 4?
Yep.
Half damage. Is it?
How quickly are people getting out of the room?
This is
As
like
quickly as
a
possible.
consistent thing?
Yeah, it seems to be rather consistent. And I'll tell you right now, you feel
Yeah.
real that you're probably gonna have to be dodging at least one more bout of rocks to get out.
Okay.
I want out as fast as possible. Of course.
Oh. Jake, do you wait around for Riod, or do you leave once the ceiling starts coming down?
I read one for Red.
Alright, well, Riod and Jake, give me one more dex save.
Yeah, and I will symbiotic entity for some, BS temporary hit points.
That's fine. It is 3d6
Yeah.
that you guys are having to go up against.
Dexterity.
So Jake takes 7 and Riod takes 3. Just
Okay.
run down for players.
Not gonna lie, boys. I take one more hit. I'm going down.
Yep, well, you're out of the room now, too.
Is it still falling, or does it appear that it was just in that room?
It was just in that room,
Okay.
and it stops after a few more seconds. You'd guess probably 1 round of combat.
Okay.
Yeah, it fell for 3 rounds.
Can I have a look at that job?
Yeah.
I
This
can do
can
an
probably
arcana
wait
check.
until
Yeah.
we survive getting out.
Let me do an arcana check when we get out.
Do you have any more spells to heal yourself up?
I do. Yes. I should be probably popping one of those.
Probably the
Just-
time to use them.
You guys can rest once you're out of the dungeon. Like, don't be afraid to burn spell slots for healing.
Yeah.
Even if it's just so you can brute force your way out.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I might as well, if we have a breather right here, I can do another good honey, which can cure up, 10 hit points on whomever needs them. I need a couple.
Yeah, well,
And
take any healing actions you
I,
want.
I think you two made them more originally than me.
I mean,
Okay, and since we know each of the traps in this dungeon and more or less know the workings of them, I will say you guys can get past the grid-based trap without any major issue.
all right.
Give me an odds or evens for the scythe trap.
Look.
We can either do it as a group or singularly,
Well,
which means the group will take damage or each person will take damage depending on their guesses.
let's each of us do it.
Or give me an odd.
All right. Well, tails never fails. So odd.
Oh, well, yeah, you can actually roll your own odds.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. So you and him make it through. Roll it, and Jake.
I think we just lost somebody too. Oh no, they're back.
I got back. What is happening now?
Give us any dice. Just give us odds or evens. If you guess correctly, you don't trigger the trap.
We're at the site. Trap. We have no idea how it works.
I'm going even.
Can I? I was just gonna say,
Oh,
can
yeah.
I just climb on Jake's back to try and come back?
Is that something you guys want to do?
Well,
You
it's
know,
something,
we
if
could-
it's something we didn't try.
Yeah, because going through that whole puzzle, we could have probably avoided all of that by doing what the statue said outside. Crocodile or man.
Yeah.
Probably could have avoided all of the traps right there if we did that from the start.
If you guys do that, then you don't trigger trap
Yeah.
as you walk through the area. You've still got a pit to get across now, which is give me a acrobatics check.
Oh, I'm never going to pass.
It's DC 10.
And I've got 0 to it.
Well, you get guidance.
And you get a 50-50 chance of doing it.
Yeah.
See? You did it.
Okay, well, yeah.
Oh no!
Wow.
Olin gets dumped into the pit, however, and takes the 2d6 damage. And you guys have to spend another 5 or 10 minutes lowering ropes and getting him back out. But with that, you do manage to escape.
I'm bloody.
Right. I feel like a well-cooked meal with nice rest would be real good right now.
River looks
I know. Nice to well
stage
cooked
of
meal
you
would be.
guys and says, so, not exactly the easiest inning?
Surprisingly difficult.
Well, I mean, you guys did kind of go off in there half-cocked, didn't you?
I think you mean quarter cocked.
Well, yeah, apparently. But did you find anything at least?
Oh,
We
because it's
did,
a really cool jug.
Flask, can you cast Identify? Because druids do not get access to Identify.
No, Flask cannot do Identify, and I do not believe River can either. No, River cannot do identify
Is it a
either.
cantrip? Is it a cantrip?
No, it's
Guys,
a first level
guys,
spell, but
We have our first magic item, guys. What does it do? We don't know. But incidentally, now that you're not under duress and can actually spend a couple of minutes investigating and everything,
yeah.
it appears to be empty, but giving it a little shake, you can still hear a sloshing head liquid inside of it.
What if you shake it while it's upside down?
Well, it's possible that wonderful fresh spring water comes out, but it's also equally as possible that pure pestilence and plague comes out, or lava. There were a lot of
Incidentally,
bones in there.
As you say, spring water, the top of it, little bit of water tips out. It doesn't seem to have any core or stopping mechanism, but yes, that happened.
So it's like
So it's like filling up and overflowing, or it's just coming from the top.
It's just pouring out of the top.
It's like pouring out.
and it's
Well,
never
not pouring,
doesn't-
not pouring, but yeah, it comes out like
okay.
because I'd picture you were like giving it a shake as you were talking about it, and it kind of sloshed out.
Gotcha.
But it seems to still the same physics that you could expect from it. But when you look inside of it, it appears to be empty.
Oh. Who would like to drink the water first?
I could cure the water
Me.
before we drink it.
Somewhat of a joke. You'll have to excuse me. We should see
You
if
were
it's actually.
you were joking?
Yeah, because our rogue was keen to do so.
I'm
You
thirsty.
shouldn't strange liquids in magical pots without taking a little time and figuring out what they do, I think.
I think that doing the thing can help you figure out the thing.
Yeah, but
He ends up taking a drink of it and ends up with fits on the ground.
I
Are
mean,
you drinking it?
if you're really going for it, while I'll say maybe you shouldn't, I'm not going to physically stop you from doing so.
I'll take one for the I'll give it a try.
Oh, forehead.
It's water.
It's
It
what?
seems to be clear spring water.
It's wonderful.
Oh, I don't
So has
know.
the contents of that jar run out?
Like I said, it doesn't actually seem to have a contents. It sloshes when you move it, and it spurted a little bit as Riod was talking about it, but no actual content to it.
Now, when it splashed out, he was saying something about water and shaking it, right?
I said
Yes.
spring water, yes.
What if I shake it and say something else? Like what if I shake it and say milk?
Are you doing that?
Yep.
Then you find a very small amount, quite as much as came out with Riod's. It comes out in sloshes, and sure enough, it appears to be some. I mean, you could not even start to guess what milk it might be, but it appears to be a white liquid.
It's the good stuff, bro. Try it. Try it for us.
Interesting.
Alright.
It's very salty. It was not milk.
Oh.
It was condensed milk with salt put in it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope.
But yes, it seems that it produces liquids that you pronounce, and if you guys spent a few minutes testing, probably come to that conclusion.
Well,
I
sit
would,
there and
I would
grab
like to test its effectiveness and be like, walk over to one of those tents, grab a bunch of material, and say acid, and then try and pour some on the material.
If you're actually pouring it, it would pour probably about 2 gallons worth of acid would pour out, and sure enough, it's acid. It was basically already fibrous pulp anyway into just mush.
So I take the jar. And
I would say don't
I'll
overuse it.
I say beer, and then I grab an empty glass and then.
Sometimes these things have a limit to the number of times they can be used a day. We wouldn't want to burn it out.
Yep. So you're saying it fills up a glass of ale?
Yep, it would.
So I take a sip. Take a bit of a...
I mean, it's not good ale. It's not something you'd pay like gold pieces for or anything like that, but it's possible. You could drink enough of it that you get drunk of it and it would be too hot. It's not absolute swill, but it's not, the drink of kings either.
Oh, so that just confirms it for my mind that, that's what it is.
There is one last type of thing that I would like to try with it, and saying if you could be specific, like the finest of the finest fresh wines.
That's not very specific.
And your wines.
Just the best one. Like, if you tell it, it needs to be good. Because you just said beer. I was like, if you say a good liquid, would it be good?
Like, you chose maybe a specific kind, like a specific vintage or something like that.
I'm not sure what kind of specific wines.
Well, I mean,
the finest beer you could find, kind of thing.
Nothing seems to come out this time.
So I guess we can't get greedy with it then, eh? Suppose you just got to take what you're given.
Well, as I mentioned before, it likely only works a certain number of times per day. I hope we didn't burn it out forever.
Yeah, just
take laughs. Yes, there's a possibility.
Just for the people who haven't played D&D for years, that is a thing that happens. By the way, magic items, if you use all their charges, have a chance of breaking. But you have... I mean, I'll just give you its name for the sake of, saving you guys waiting around for an identify spell to pop up just to learn its name, but it is an alchemy jug.
Okay.
Or alchemical jug.
Alchemy. Ooh.
That's literally just its name, but it just summons liquids that you call. And I think that might be a good spot to stop the session for now.
I think so too.
Yep.
Mainly because I think we've looked stupid enough this session with all the traps.
That's what trap sessions are designed.
Oh, I know. Oh, it
teaching
burns
the
me
party
inside.
humility.
I know, but like when the answer is so obvious, it's like right there in front of your face. You're like,
It's so much better
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're the
Really?
DM.
That's the best thing about it, is that I'm sitting there the whole time like, if they'd actually just read the inscriptions, spent some time with it, they probably could have figured out what you guys figured out halfway through the dungeon, that you guys can just sit on each other's shoulders. If you'd done that from the start, you could have walked literally the entire dungeon without an issue.
Yeah.
It would have been like a 5-minute fucking jump on my shoulders, let's walk through here, go get an item and get out.
Oh,
That's so
no fun,
bullshit, though.
But that's nowhere near as fun as death pits and scythes and everything. I would have liked the puzzle to have been described a bit better.
Well,
oh yeah, that needed to be described a little bit better because I was
Because even if you look like at the visual on the map, to me it looks like it's a sunken pit rather than a
raised one.
It says in it that it's 7-foot ledge raised up and then goes on to a 16-foot high terrace.
See, that was because I got that there was a wall in front of us, but I thought it just instantly dropped back down to it, basically.
Like, even if these two tiles here were like made as a terrace.
Yeah. Well, those were, because those were the other 7 thing that you, or yeah, the 7-foot thing that you climbed to check the glyph out.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it is.
Yeah, I lie. I mean, I like puzzles. I just get frustrated and say I hate them.
Which, not gonna lie, would have been absolutely the funniest way to kill you guys if you'd triggered that glyph door, because it was Thunderwave that, if you failed the dex save for the Thunderwave, knocked you back into the other trap and triggers it.
Yeah.
So that would have been 2d8 and then the 4d8 on that.
I can't believe I almost convinced us to fuck that up.
I know.
That was so great. I was just sitting there like, come on, no, don't do it. You guys have it. You guys have it. Come on, don't do it. God damn it. I don't want to kill you.
Oh, good times.
I mean, Roland hasn't been through many trap dungeons. He gave his best guess.
But you're a spy though, bro. Like, traps are meant to be your thing.
Well, yeah, but usually the traps are just people patrolling that I have to watch out for. They're not like ancient dungeons.
Can I ask what your stats are?
Awkward silence.
Like, Fraser, what do you got in there?
He's got good decks.
Why did you load all your points at the dexterity saves?
Because, like, there's 0 for, investigation. Like, 0 for
I just rolled shit.
Yeah, he
rolled
was...
absolute shit. Here's my rolls.
Oh my gosh.
-2 strike. Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
That is actually pretty bad, yeah.
Yes, I have a -2 to strength and wisdom. I rolled 2 fucking 7s.
That's pretty rough.
I just got.
Yeah, no. Looking at those, bro. Like, maybe we should have made those wisdom checks on those traps. Yeah.
But I like how
got
confident
so
you were about it. You're like, yeah, I got it.
I got it. I'm the rogue. It's my job.
Don't worry about it. My dexterity saves are gonna come through
rogue.
for me.
It's my job. That's what I expect. I expect
Hey,
to be
even
good at this.
though you've got, like,
I don't
minus-
know I'm fucking trash at this.
Well, I mean, like what is your HP at the moment, Fraser? Like,
30.
That's not bad.
that's actually
That's
decent.
You're
You're only 3 hit points off me, by the way.
Oh, no, I see. D8 plus 2.
Oh, but that was a good one. I enjoyed it, even though it was somewhat frustrating. But, that again, that's the nature of traps and stuff.
Yeah. What people, Grim, I meant to ask you for our Thursday game as well. Like, what are you doing the holidays? Everything. Are we still playing? You need a couple of weeks because you'll have family things.
We're still sort of under lockdown, but like next Friday is Christmas, so
yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I mean, I will probably be doing Christmas stuff. I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah, just
let us know the week. Like I said, I meant to ask on Thursday for a Shifting City game as well. To know
what about
Thursday?
What about our Tomb of Annihilation game, bro? What's happening with this at the moment? Due to holidays and stuff.
That's literally what we're going over.
I thought you were just talking about, your Shifting City game.
No,
that's what I thought you were talking about.
Talking in general.
All right.
Like, this sounds terrible, but it's way easier to be a player in a game than it is to DM, like, even mentally. So I mean, if push comes to shove, unless like some last minute major plans come up, which is not very likely, honestly, I could probably make it. But there's a chance where I can't as well. So again, it's sort of up in the air a little bit, I guess.
No stress. We can touch base closer to the date anyway.
Yeah.
But if we don't, then we shall catch each other probably just before, just after.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Fraser? What are you doing for?
Gotta head up to Kagan's.
Fair.
I'd probably be able to bring my computer with me, but yeah.
Nah. If you're gonna go spend time with family and shit, just go spend time with family. We can.
Oh yeah,
Cool,
I
cool.
want to go spend.
Oh yeah, I know, but at the same time,
It's Christmas.
yeah.
Merry Christmas. Well, yeah, I think we are going to wrap up here. To those of us who have been watching the recording, a couple of people watching. Somebody's watching right now. Hi, person. I'm glad you could join us. But we're going to be heading out for today. Next week is sort of in the air. If we can't make it, Merry Christmas to everybody. The three of you and everybody who's watching, and even those jerks who aren't watching.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Nah, but I hope you all have a great day, and peace out. Bye-bye.
Laters.
Bye-bye.
Good session.
Good session. Yeah.